to happen.
According to the poll, 3/4 of voters said Election Day panic would cause them to base their vote entirely on hearsay, while 93% acknowledged that they only recognized names of local candidates from signs along state highways. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, stunned friends and acquaintances expressed shock and disbelief when a body found in the woods turned out not to be Justin. Local residents found the naked corpse draped over a tree stump Saturday, and as news spread, many found themselves struggling to comprehend how it wasn't Justin lying dead in the forest.
I heard the news, and I still can't come around to it. I just can't imagine that it's not Justin there lying dead in the woods. Are they absolutely sure it's not him?
Friends and family are still urging authorities to double-check the body, or at the very least, bring in Justin as a suspect.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves here, and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Ian and Mark here in the studio, and we're expecting Johnson Rice to join us here shortly. Last night I mentioned I had a bunch of Bitcoin-related stuff I thought was worth talking about, and one of those things is about segregated witness. Now, this is a technology that has been put into place after much debate in the Bitcoin community. We talked about how the Bitcoin world was split over how the Bitcoin software should, or the network should, handle the scaling issues that it's been having, because Bitcoin, the world's first and most successful cryptocurrency, decentralized cryptocurrency, has been incredibly successful. In fact, it has hit the growing pains point of, having too much success, meaning that it wasn't able to scale up appropriately to the level of demand being placed on it by the network, by the people who want to use Bitcoin. It's basically Bitcoin's full, and it has been full of transactions for, I don't know, what, a year? Couple years now? I mean, I don't know how long.
There was a brief period when the SegWit 2X Accords were reached in New York City, where this
was in May.
In May, where the mempool, and that is the area where, was that in May? Okay, take your word for it. Where the mempool, and that's where the transactions are held until they're transacted.
Extra transactions are
held. It began steadily decreasing. Then by sometime in June,
it did, but it never got to the point where Bitcoin wasn't full. So the mempool had decreased for sure. So fees had gone down temporarily over the summertime. And I guess we're technically still in the summertime, but then this whole split happened. This Bitcoin fork occurred in the beginning of August, and some of the people who said, well, we don't believe in the segregated witness proposal, we're going to split off, we're going to do our own thing, we're taking our toys and we're going over here, they split off into Bitcoin Cash. So now there are two competing types of Bitcoin out there, in addition to all the altcoins, all these other competitors that have been out there for much longer than Bitcoin Cash. But Bitcoin Cash split off, and that was the subject of much discussion here on Free Talk Live. But what I wanted to talk about was the segregated witness, which we never really talked about what it was, because honestly, I'd never really understood exactly what it was. I mean, I knew it was some sort of technology that some people thought was going to solve the scaling issues that Bitcoin was having. And I'm not an engineer, so I mean, I was waiting to find a good explanation that laid it out there, made it clear as it possibly could be for a technical discussion of what this thing is and why is it supposed to be the solution. So I have an article from Bitcoinist.com, which is entitled SegWit Activated, How It Works, and What's Next for Bitcoin. So let me get into that, because this is what's happening now. SegWit just went into place, I think, like a week ago, basically, or maybe a week and a half at this point, week at least. And, the fees are still crazy. Right now, the median fee is almost $5, meaning that the typical Bitcoin transaction, half of the transactions would be higher, half would be lower. So your typical Bitcoin transaction, if we call that the median, is costing about $4.75 today to send. So you want to send $1 worth of Bitcoin, it's going to cost you 5 times as much in a fee. If you want to spend, if you want to send $500,000 or $50,000 or $5,000,
then big whoop,
then
right?
No big deal. But it is a big deal for anybody like me who thinks that Bitcoin should be used for day-to-day purchases. It's basically impossible at this point to use it for anything less than $100 or so. And I think that's a big problem.
I concur.
So why are we still here a week later after the SegWit thing activates and the fees are still ridiculous? They're at all-time highs. While Bitcoin, by the way, is also at an all-time high.
It's true.
Today, the price of Bitcoin
doesn't seem to stop it.
Went past $4,600.
Yep.
And so, the most amazing thing here is that Bitcoin is so hard to use at this point because of these fees, but yet people are still coming on board. People are still buying into this thing.
They seem to want it for an investment purpose, not for a currency.
Everybody loves a winner too, right? So the name's out there. Bitcoin's gotten its name, and it's earned it, no doubt about it. But is it coasting on its prior success at this point? Because it certainly isn't fixed. Anyway, here's
there's a lot of coins that have been performing even better than Bitcoin as a percentage of Bitcoin out there, and Dash not the least among them. They've had a very good couple weeks.
So Bitcoinist.com in December of 2015, the source code for Segregated Witness was released. It was meant as a fix for the ever-problematic transaction malleability bug, which allowed for someone to change 1 or 2 characters of a transaction ID before it was cemented into the blockchain.
I'd like to point out that there was a transaction malleability attack on Bitcoin Cash, that didn't have the SegWit fix to it, and nothing happened.
Well, didn't they also fix the transaction malleability bug?
They must have, because the attack was in place.
I thought I read that they'd fixed that.
Guess they did.
So anyway,
we gotta have SegWit to fix this. Yeah, apparently you didn't.
So anyway, that's not what I wanted to get into. But the blockchain, by the way, for those that don't know, is the technology behind Bitcoin. That is the distributed public ledger that exists. That shows every transaction that's ever happened on Bitcoin since it was founded in 2009. And so along with that, the Segregated Witness provides a method of scaling Bitcoin. Doing away with the concept of a block size, a new metric was made called block weight. Have you heard about this, Mark?
No.
It was the first I'd heard about it, too. So for those that don't know, the block size was, and still is, the idea that so when the miners are creating these Bitcoin blocks, there's a certain limit to the size that has been put on those blocks. Originally, there was no limit, but they put a 1 megabyte limit on it many years ago to fight spam transactions.
Spam attacks.
And
because at the time, a transaction was free on the Bitcoin network.
Because the network wasn't full and didn't really matter. But so anyway, the block size was had been 1 megabyte, and that was part of what all this debate has been about over the last 2.5 years is, should the block size be raised from 1 megabyte to 2 or 8 or whatever, or should we try this other thing, this Segregated Witness, and not raise the block size? And so some people said, well, the block size should be raised, so they left and they created Bitcoin Cash. They forked off from the current Bitcoin, and now we have 2 competing Bitcoins, and later this year we may end up having 3 Bitcoins, and that's a whole other story. But Segregated Witness got implemented, and they say this is going to help. So for years, the software was not added to the Bitcoin protocol, as it never garnered the necessary 95% of Bitcoin's hash power, that's the mining power, needed to activate. It was to be implemented through the means of what's called a soft fork, which meant that it would comply with all current consensus rules and be backward compatible with those running old software and who didn't wish to upgrade. Whether you believe that SegWit was a direct result of a grassroots approach, that was called BIP 148, stands for Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, forced miners to finally activate it after all this time, or the New York Agreement was the reason everyone came together to signal for SegWit, it's finally here. And the agreement you were talking about earlier is the New York Agreement. That was back in May, where 80-something% of the mining power and also dozens of Bitcoin-related companies came together and said, well, we're going to go with both fixes. We're going to do the Segregated Witness fix, and we're going to increase the block size from 1 to 2 megabytes. So we'll get back into the New York Agreement here in a moment. A second Bitcoin improvement protocol was released weeks ago to lower the activation threshold to 80% of the hash power, but even with the lowered bar, SegWit still achieved around 97% signaling, and it locked in during the beginning of August. After the official lock-in period, the network allowed for 2 weeks to provide a grace period of sorts for people to upgrade their software in order to work with this segregated witness. Now, let's get into exactly what this is supposed to do, because why is segregated witness supposed to fix the scaling issues? So we'll explain what that is and why is it not happening yet. You know, with this thing being now fully implemented, supposedly, how come the fees are still going up? When are we going to see, or are we going to see, a reduction in those fees and an increase in the, the Bitcoin speeds, if you will? More coming up here, 855-450, free if you want to join us. It's Free Talk Live.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-957-9489. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-957-9489. That's 1-800-957-9489. 1-800-957-9489.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click Tips, Tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio and take control of the airwaves. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, so feel free to Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM.
So Whole Food Multi-Complete is a 3 times daily supplement that totally supplements your diet. It's everything you need in a given day. It's got probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, all the other nutrients you need. But and you know, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been providing for 15 years quietly what the big boys won't provide, which is a product that actually is a complete supplement as opposed to the sort of having to go out there and buy piecemeal and that sort of thing. I've taken the expense and complexity out of it, and all you have to do is go to simplifymysupplements.com, as I have, and order there. Use coupon code FTL to save 10% off of your order. And I think this is such a great product. I'm never going to be without it. It's just made my sleep better, made my memory better, made it so that my digestive system's working better, and actually lost a few pounds in the process. SimplifyMySupplements.com, without even trying, mind you. SimplifyMySupplements.com, coupon code FTL.
All right, so we've been talking, and Johnson's joining us now. Ian and Mark already here. Hey, Johnson. So we were just talking about segregated witness. It's this new technology been put into Bitcoin, the world's most successful decentralized cryptocurrency out there, to supposedly help solve the problem of the scaling issues that Bitcoin has been having. So the question is, well, what is segregated witness? Like, we've been talking about it this whole time while saying at the same time, we don't really know what this is. Well, now somebody's finally written up a piece here that I felt was simple enough to be able to discuss on this radio show, because this is not a Bitcoin show, but we all do love Bitcoin and cryptocurrency here on Free Talk Live, so it's frequently a topic of conversation, but you always have to be careful, like, at any moment, there's somebody tuning in who doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, and so we always have to try to make it as simple and understandable as possible and as relevant as we can, and that's always a challenge. So thank you for bearing with us. If you have any questions about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, you're always welcome to call in at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So there's been a lot of discussion and argumentation going on online for years now, 2 or 3 years, over what is supposed to happen to help scale Bitcoin. And segregated witness was something that people came to an agreement on earlier this year, in May, at the New York agreement, the SegWit 2X agreement, as it was called. And so they've implemented the SegWit part of the SegWit 2X. The 2X part, we'll explain that later. That's coming up in November. But the SegWit part, as of about a week ago, is in place. So what does it mean? Well, according to the story here at bitcoinist.com, there's been a ton of misinformation about SegWit, so this will hopefully clear up some things about how it actually works. So as stated earlier, the whole idea of a block size has been gotten rid of, and now the network will use what's called block weight. So there are 2 types of data that are contained in a Bitcoin transaction. First, there's the actual transaction data, such as the address that the coins are going to. Then there's the so-called witness data, which is all the information that is only needed when the transaction is confirmed, and when that data is essentially never used again. So segregated witness provides a discount to the witness data, and once committed to the blockchain, it gets pruned. So that means
that's good.
Right. That means that the
block size isn't so this big monstrous thing that it has been growing to be.
Right. So all this extraneous data surrounding each transaction that's not really necessary, they're saying that, well, once the transaction is done, we can get rid of that data from the blockchain. That sounds like a pretty good idea.
Like that, yep.
So going on here, it says that 1,000 1 kilobyte transactions would obviously fill the current block size of 1 megabyte. But remember, block size isn't even a metric anymore. It's been replaced by what's called block weight, and the new limit of that is now at 4 million units. So 4 million block weight units. And the way that new system works is the number of units in a transaction is simply the number of bytes in a transaction of the transaction data. So remember, of each transaction, part of the data is the transaction data, and the rest of it is the witness data. Right?
Okay.
So there's two parts. So they're only crediting the number of bytes of that transaction. That's the actual transaction data as the block weight, and they're multiplying that by 4. So the block weight is the number of bytes in the transaction data of the total amount of data multiplied by 4. So it goes on to say here that the witness data is, as said before, discounted. The bytes of the witness data are essentially a direct translation to units at a 1-to-1 rate. So the witness data is still worth something toward the block weight, but the transaction data itself is worth 4 times as much as the witness data.
Okay.
When they're calculating this block weight thing.
So help me out here. Isn't every transaction basically the same size when it comes to Bitcoin?
No, they're different sizes because when your Bitcoin wallet has different what's called unspent outputs, I believe, the unspent outputs can be there can be multiple unspent outputs. So let's say you've got a Bitcoin wallet and you've received let's just say you've received a whole Bitcoin into that Bitcoin wallet, but you've received it in a few different addresses. So, you gave Johnson one address, you gave me one address, Johnson sent you half a Bitcoin, I sent half a Bitcoin. Now you want to send 3/4 of your full Bitcoin out. So if you want to send 3/4 of a Bitcoin, you're going to have to get that 3/4 of a Bitcoin from both of those unspent outputs. So you've got a half a Bitcoin inside the wallet on Johnson's side and then a half a Bitcoin that I sent. But in order to send that full amount, it's got to come from both places.
I see.
And the more places the Bitcoin comes from, the larger the size of the transaction data.
This is why the transaction fee at hope.freetalklive.com, where the address that I have there, tends to be kind of high. Is I get a lot of donations. Some donations as small as $10, some $50. Just got one today.
Well, no, if you're using the same address for all this, then no, that shouldn't be creating that problem. It's when you've got the different addresses. You know how newer wallets, you create whenever you go to receive Bitcoin, it comes up with a new address. That's, as I understand it, going to cause that issue.
Okay.
And also, every time you send from your wallet, the way Bitcoin works, the way the protocol works, as I understand it, is so like what we were talking about. You wanted to send 0.75 out of the full Bitcoin,
right?
But you got 2 chunks of a half a Bitcoin to make up that full Bitcoin. That full Bitcoin would have to be sent out, and then 0.25 of it would come back, and the 0.75 would go to its destination.
Right.
That 0.25 that comes back is called the change, and that change goes into its own different address.
Right.
So as soon as you start getting change back in, that starts to break up the unspent outputs into even more complicated, sources, if you will.
Gotcha.
So the more sources that the transaction comes from, the larger the byte size of the transaction, and the more the fee is going to be in order to send that transaction.
Okay.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to get a grasp on. There's more coming up here, because the question is, well, if this segregated witness is supposed to make things better, then why aren't things better yet?
Why aren't things better?
Why, it took so long to fully implement this thing, but yet the fees are still where they've been. They're at record levels. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Are you looking to become more self-sufficient? Then you need to have your own energy source. The SolarArc EMP hardened generator is automatic, maintenance-free, and reduces your monthly electric bill. You can also take it off-grid when you go camping. Contact PortableSolarLLC.com or call for details at 972-575-8875 today. Portable Solar LLC gives you everything you need to start using solar energy in less than 1 hour. SolarArc EMP hardened solar generator energy insurance for your family or business. Call Portable Solar LLC today.
Ralph, remember when you said you were going to start paying more attention to your health and now you're eating potato chips?
Just a few.
A few, okay, but you should be eating Super Berries Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness. Go to superberries.com/radio. And right now we get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus we can save $4 at checkout.
Wow, look at all the benefits of these berries.
I know, Ralph, I know.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Free Talk Live.
We have been brought forward to bring out the truth.
I knew this was
all right. What is the truth?
No, it's in the 2 books.
Oh, you've got to buy the books. Now, how much is somebody going to have to pay for these books?
It's right online. Depending on what country you're in, they're $26 a piece here in the United States, including freight.
Now, why would God put books out and require people to pay for them? What's the point in that? I mean, aren't there people out there that can't afford that?
Those of us here on Earth have had to put the material together and get it copyrighted and available.
Why would God want to copyright something? What's the point of that? I mean, wouldn't God want
anything on this planet has to be copyrighted to be put out legally by
That's
your
not true.
government
Not true at all. Not true, sir. Nope. You can put whatever you want out there.
Explain?
No, you let me explain, because whatever you want, you can put online, and nobody's going to tell you can't do it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
You don't need money to do business on Simbi.com. It's a slick and easy-to-use marketplace where you can trade your talents for other people's services and abilities. You can forget the old economy. This is your economy. It's Simbi.com. You won't believe the diversity of services available on Simbi.com. Hundreds of thousands of people are acting within the symbiotic economy. So go get your account at Simbi.com. Take a look around and post your services. SIMBI, Simbi.com. As we continue here, we're discussing what is SegWit, segregated witness. There's been a lot of discussion in the Bitcoin community about this. People have been arguing for a couple years at least over whether or not this is a good idea. And finally, in May, a bunch of Bitcoin movers and shakers came together at what was called the New York Agreement and hammered out this agreement to implement this segregated witness. And as we just explained, this article from Bitcoinist.com is going through as simple of an explanation as I have yet seen about segregated witness that explains that in every transaction for Bitcoin, there's two types of data. There's the transaction data of like how much and where it's going to, which address. And then there's the witness data, which is apparently required for the transactions to get confirmed on the network and be considered, done and legitimate. And then they're saying here that segregated witness would keep that data separate and make it so it could be pruned from the blockchain later on, which should reduce the size of the blockchain. It should mean that more transactions could get through in these blocks than
previous. Does it immediately prune the blockchain?
I'm not clear on that.
Meaning that every transaction that's come in the past gets pruned?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Huge.
I don't believe that it does that. Because SegWit has to be compatible with the past. So anybody who wants to continue to use the past wallets or past, whatever, they can continue without utilizing SegWit, which explains why nothing has happened yet. So even though there's this big to-do about SegWit being implemented and activated and first it was signaled for and then it was activated and then 2 weeks later it was finally really activated, and now that it's really activated, in theory people can begin using it. But that's what we're still apparently waiting on. The story here continues from Bitcoinist.com. So the next section is, how do I actually use SegWit? For those of you expecting an immediate sign that SegWit is helping everything, I'm sorry to let you down, he says. In reality, it could be weeks or even months before SegWit really starts to have widespread adoption.
It's bad to get all excited about something that's going to take months to get implemented.
It could be months. And that's because all these different providers, the wallet providers and the Coinbases and all these BitPays and these people, they have to implement SegWit in their software in order for it to be even something that the users could, if they wanted to use it, could use. So we're not there yet. And the question is, how long is that going to take? And how much damage is going to be done to Bitcoin by the competition in that time frame? Because right now, you go try to send a Bitcoin transaction, your median fee at the moment is around $5. That's the median, meaning that half are more than that and half are less than that. So, you go to try to send something, it costs you $5, that's going to stop a whole lot of business from happening. And it's amazing to me that Bitcoin can continue to rise in price just based on, it must just be based on the network effect, on the fact that it's so old and popular and well-known, and that's what people are interested in getting into as an investment. But as far as the currency aspect of it, for anything less than, $1,000 car repair at Wilder Automotive here in town, I can't see why anybody would go and, spend Bitcoin on a hamburger or a pack of cigarettes or a newspaper at some of the downtown businesses here in Keene that accept it. So it's so broken, it's just amazing to me that people still, that it's still going up in price. And the question is, how long until the market figures out that there are better options out there? Because there are better options out there than Bitcoin. Just about anything.
I don't want to. Just about every one of those. If you go to, is it CoinCap.io?
That's one of the sites. Yeah, it's a good one.
You look at the constantly updating prices of the cost of these
Ethereum,
coins.
Bitcoin Cash, Dash.
And you just scroll down. Pretty much every coin you look at there, barring the Ether, the Ether tokens, and you have to sort of know which ones I'm excluding there. But just about every coin has some feature that makes it better than Bitcoin and has all the features of Bitcoin.
Yep. SegWit transactions can only be sent from SegWit addresses. So every single address that currently contains coins would have to send them to a SegWit address before we see the full effect of the upgrade. So hold on a second. That means that in order to, let's say, you remember earlier I was telling you about how confusing it gets with all the unspent outputs and these different addresses that are sort of hidden within your Bitcoin wallet, and that makes it so Bitcoin transactions are more expensive when you try to send them if they're coming from the different sources.
Sure.
Well, that means that in order to send all your Bitcoins, however much you have, over to a new SegWit address, I'm guessing you're going to have to pay a fee to do that. So if you want to get your coins onto the SegWit system, you have to pay the fee in order to get there, which means
I bet a lot of people who supported SegWit weren't aware of that.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Probably not many of them knew the dirty details. Now, it is true that you can send a low fee. You can with the right software, like your typical blockchain software, or blockchain actually will let you customize it, but most Bitcoin wallets will not let you customize the fee.
Blockchain.info. Yep.
Blockchain.info will. The normal sort of Bitcoin Core wallet or whatever will. So if you want, you can try to send a below market fee, because what I told you before was the median fee is about $4.50 or $4.75. So if you were to send a $5 fee on a median-sized transaction, then it would get through pretty quickly. I tried sending one that was about a tenth of the median fee, and it took a full day. So if you don't mind waiting and sort of biting your nails, hopefully you're not in a hurry to trade that Bitcoin or whatever.
I had a transaction take close to a week.
A week?
Recently.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't. The number looked completely wrong when I looked at it, so I lowered the fee, and I can't even tell you what I lowered it to, but.
Yeah,
I am cheap. I will give everybody that, like I am a thrifty little miser.
So that's the workaround.
You just go into your convenience store, you pick up the stuff that you want to buy, and you pay in Bitcoin, and then you sit at the counter and you tap your fingers for a while and hope that they don't kick you out of closing when you have to keep waiting.
Yeah. Well, so now you're talking about waiting for a confirmation, which is kind of a different
I know,
story.
A lot of places don't actually, make you wait for the confirmation,
right.
Once they have
because
something
it's going to work.
Network.
I mean, most of the time it's going to work. But you're right. If somebody sends too low a fee, it could bounce back.
Yeah.
So SegWit here, it says here, and even then there could be a decent chunk of users who still don't trust SegWit and don't want to use it, which is perfectly fine. That's the point of a soft fork. It doesn't force users who don't agree to it to upgrade to it. For you to use SegWit and to send those transactions, you'll need to send your coins to a wallet that generates SegWit addresses. Otherwise, it will just be a normal transaction. And which wallets have that so far? I have no idea. They don't mention it in this story. So I have no idea which wallets have implemented SegWit. I did see somebody, and there's a local Bitcoin sort of discussion group in New Hampshire that was saying that they had used the SegWit. But they didn't say exactly how they did that. Moving forward, SegWit was an important setup to the upgrading and scaling of the Bitcoin network, says the author here, which has been woefully overloaded in the past several months. SegWit opens the door to better implementation of what's called the Lightning Network, which can allow for transactions to be sent off-chain for pennies. Coming in November, the second half of the New York agreement is set to take place, calling for a doubling of the block weight to even further scale the network through the means of a hard fork. And at that time, that is when people are saying there is going to be another hard fork of Bitcoin that could very well result in 2 new Bitcoins being in the markets, which would then have us a total of at least three competing Bitcoin currencies.
I'm psyched. I hope they all go up in value because I still have one of those Cassatius coins.
Right. So you got Bitcoin, one Bitcoin out of a Cassatius coin, and then a Bitcoin Cash,
and then I'll get the new one.
Right.
So whatever, if they all keep going up the way they have been, right?
Yeah, but how long is that going to happen for? Right. How many times can you split Bitcoin into a new Bitcoin and have the value continue to go up?
Yeah.
Maybe it can keep happening. I don't know.
I suspect the scalability of that is just not going to happen.
Probably not. But then again, I thought it was going to go down the last time it split.
Agreed.
And they both went up.
Yeah.
There's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us, and then we'll talk about this 2x part and what's happening there, because there's drama.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now, we're giving everyone who texts EASY77 to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text EASY77 to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text EASY77 to 543543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. EASY77 to 543543.
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions to that other site? I know you are. And I'm here to tell you about a great alternative to sell your stuff. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the best-selling site to ever come along. It doesn't matter what you're selling, big or small, it's easier than ever. And you can use Skype to show your items and get to know your potential buyer, and they can see that you are for real. No more blind trust. And you're not limited to snapshots. You can video what you're selling to better sell it fast. For as little as $9.95, and that's after a free 30 days, you can sell everything you no longer want with absolutely no fees, ever. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and become part of a community of buyers and sellers who have already discovered this revolutionary way of getting it sold online. That's BuySellMakeOffer.com. You'll never regret making the switch. BuySellMakeOffer.com. So, what are you waiting for?
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait
now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us on the radio waves here. You can take control of the airwaves toll free at 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We are talking about Bitcoin and the latest developments and what's going on in the Bitcoin universe. If you want to get the latest news, though, about Bitcoin, the best place to turn is not to Free Talk Live, because half the time most of the time we're talking about other things. But if you go to news.bitcoin.com, you get the latest news about Bitcoin every single day. What's going on in the Bitcoin universe? It's a deep universe. There's a lot going on in the world of Bitcoin. So check out some of it over at news.bitcoin.com. And if you want to get into Bitcoin mining, you really ought to check out pool.bitcoin.com. Whether you want to mine Bitcoin or the brand new Bitcoin Cash, it is up to you which one you choose. Currently, I'm mining Bitcoin Cash, even though it's not as profitable to mine that.
Why is that?
Well, it costs a day's worth of time to switch back and forth between one and the other. So,
I see. And you got on the 6-month contract,
That's
so a
right.
day's worth of time is really important to you. Me on my lifetime contract, well, I can give a day here or there.
There you go. Yeah. So what are you mining?
Bitcoin, regular Bitcoin.
Okay. So
I was intending to switch it over, and then there was a change.
It's changed over a couple times.
Right,
At first, it was Bitcoin that was more profitable, then Bitcoin Cash, then Bitcoin, now Bitcoin Cash, now Bitcoin again, and it's just like up and down, up and down. It's like you just can't keep switching.
Right.
So anyway, you decide over at pool.bitcoin.com.
So I have two computers and mine both at once.
You can actually, if you have your own mining equipment, you can join the Bitcoin pool at pool.bitcoin.com. But for those that don't want to have the actual hassle of running their own equipment, you can actually just give them Bitcoin, and then they'll invest that into new hardware.
Okay.
And then you can be a miner without having to do the real actual work of the mining, which is nice. So it's actually up to you. If you know your stuff, you can still join their pool. If you don't know how to do the mining yourself, then you can still join the pool over at pool.bitcoin.com. So we were talking about this new technology, these competing technologies that are trying to scale Bitcoin up. Segregated witness and also segregated witness, and apparently that cough button's not working, so just so you know.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, it's done that before for whatever reason.
Talk, Johnson.
No, we're not going to test it on the air.
Apparently it's not working at all.
It's not working.
Oh, that's bad. Well, terribly sorry, listeners.
Sorry, coughing right into your ears.
So segregated witness and the 2X part of it. So they came to this agreement back in May, and it was most of the miners, like 80+% of them, and dozens of Bitcoin-related companies that came to this agreement. Well, guess what? Segwit 2X's agreement has now been broken by one of the signatories to that agreement. Some company called Bitwala has apparently said they are not going to be forking away from the Bitcoin chain that is supported by the core development team. And what that means is when the 2X portion of the Segwit 2X agreement comes into play in 3 months in November, that's when the second phase is supposed to go into play. The idea is that some of these companies that said they were going to do it are going to break ranks. They're going to renege on their agreement.
One's already done it at this point.
And now one has done that.
This has been predicted by, frankly, the folks over at Bitcoin.com, is that this might very well happen, in which case it's my guess that Bitcoin Cash will shoot up in value because people will see, frankly, Bitcoin, Segwitcoin, or whatever you want to call it, as populated by liars. And that's tough.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of these companies, they are big-name companies, and if they start breaking this agreement, that is not going to be good. And the idea is that, well, some companies have already gotten their segregated witness out of this deal because it was a two-phase agreement.
Right. So that's the problem is this is a transaction where, it's like you hand over the money and then in a few weeks, please deliver my product. Yeah. Sometimes that works out really well if it's some people you can trust.
If somebody's honest, yeah.
But if it's not somebody you can trust, then whoa.
Yesterday, Bitwala published a blog post, a couple of days ago now, indicating they will not support the New York Agreement, of which they are a signatory. The statement reads in part, quote, "We will not actively fork away from the chain that is supported by the current core dev team," unquote.
Here's the other thing that I think is probably interesting about this. This is a little speculatory on my part, but I think that some of the people who got involved in the upper level like investment, like they're used to maybe doing business this kind of way where you can just kind of get away with this kind of stuff, but that
breaking your agreements.
Yeah. And I think that like in doing that kind of like these, like, bait and switch kind of deals and getting away with it and no one, it'll just be swept under the rug kind of situations. Whereas I think that the average Bitcoin user and people who are more involved kind of pay attention to that kind of ethic, I think, a little bit more than the average investor, the average person. I think it's this sort of security and
you're saying the average Bitcoin user who's paying attention, because is the average Bitcoin user actually paying attention?
I think most people are to a certain extent, because it's Bitcoin. You still have to pay attention to a significant level in order to not get
left
steamrolled, left behind, have your money stolen. I mean, it's still kind of a tempestuous environment for Bitcoin. You have to know a little bit about what you're doing to not get owned.
I don't agree with your theory entirely. So I would say that Bitcoin is largely populated not by business people who know that you have to provide to your customer what they ask for and what you promised.
That's not really what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that it is populated by employees, developers, people who write ones and zeros.
I think he was talking about the average Bitcoin user.
Yeah,
I understand, but
users.
he was talking, about what you have to pay attention to, and what you have to pay attention to is who's telling the truth and who's lying, and right.
No, not necessarily, but okay.
I thought what you were saying was, let me see if I can rephrase it. I thought what you were saying was that you believe the average Bitcoin user is paying attention to these sorts of situations as they develop, and that they will notice when companies are reneging on their agreements.
Right, yep.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not.
These aren't really companies. They haven't been around long enough to actually be called companies.
How long do you have to be around to be considered a company?
Oh, I'm just saying you're not. I mean, it ain't Procter & Gamble, baby.
Okay,
I mean,
sure.
They haven't had a chance. It's just they're just thrown together.
But in Bitcoin's world, a company like BitPay, which has been around for half a decade, that's a pretty long-running company.
BitPay is a real company, but BitPay hasn't reneged.
No, they have not. BitPay actually came out and said they were going to support SegWit 2X, that version, instead of the core team. So what's going to happen in November is the core team, this is the development team that's developing sort of legacy Bitcoin or Bitcoin Core, whatever the heck you want to call sort of original Bitcoin.
SegWit coin.
This team has announced they are not going to go with the 2X fork. So they have said that even though 90% of the mining power out there is currently signaling. 93% of the mining power is currently signaling, according to Coin.dance. You can go see it for yourself. They're currently signaling for SegWit 2X. So it looks like the super majority of miners are going to go on this new chain.
Looks like.
Which means the core developers coming out and saying, we are going to stay the course. We are against this 2X thing, and we're not going the 2X direction, so stick with us. We're going this way. And then the 2X people, which should be a supermajority of them, are going to go the other way, which means the 2X is going to generally be considered by most people the real Bitcoin, because it should be the longest Bitcoin blockchain, given that it would have the majority of the mining power, the supermajority behind it. But what's this company saying, this Bitwala, is, well, our allegiances lie with the core development team, so we're going with them. And they're saying we're going to go against what we agreed to do. We're going to go against the supermajority of the miners, and we're going off and supporting this, contentious group that refuses to compromise the core development team. Going on here, so they say they're not going to fork away. They're going to stick with the development team. While it's theoretically possible that the Bitcoin Core team could change its mind, to date they've been vehement in their opposition to the SegWit 2X block size increase.
Well,
and they never agreed to it in the first place. No, they did not. They did not sign on to it in the New York agreements.
But there was, the suggestion was, well, yeah, they would have done it if they would have been invited, but they weren't invited.
They were invited.
I know. The lies are all over the place. It's like, walking across caltrops. The lies are everywhere in this whole thing. This is why I called it World War Geek. Because, this isn't, people aren't fighting by the Queensberry rules here. They'll pull out anything in order to get their side heard. So, go on.
There had been some speculation that if push came to shove and a split appeared likely in November, some of the signatories might go back on their word. And Bitwala has become the first to publicly announce that it is no longer supporting the agreement. In their statement, they indicate their withdrawal from the agreement comes from three reasons. And we'll share some of those with you coming up here in moments. You can also share your thoughts with us. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, and you can join the conversation there. Skype username is LRN.FM. And let's see, coming up here tonight, Johnson, you wanted to talk about Houston, I believe. Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,324 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,401. Antiwar.com reports every North Korean missile test fuels a new round of tensions and threats from the U.S., but Monday's North Korean test appears to be a particularly major feat in the nation's missile program, as a Hwasong-12 missile was fired over Japan's northern island of Hokkaido and flew some 1,600 miles total before landing in the North Pacific. The intermediate-range ballistic missile flew at a height of 550 kilometers and led to air raid sirens in northern Japan, with locals being warned to take shelter in basements. Japan says they made no attempts to try to shoot the missile down. That North Korea would make such a launch attempt at all is a show of confidence in the maturity of this missile system. Previous missile tests have failed in flight, and a failure in a test over Japanese territory could have easily been disastrous, hitting Japanese soil and starting a war. As North Korea's missiles improve, the predictable U.S. response of a new round of threats makes the possibility of a major war even graver, and analysts have agreed for months that there is no good military option with respect to North Korea. The Trump administration has long emphasized that diplomacy has failed, and it's also clear that escalating threats and military buildups have fared no better, and shows that the U.S. desperately needs to de-escalate the situation before they find themselves in a disastrous war. For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports President Donald Trump issued an executive order rolling back an Obama-era policy preventing the U.S. military from sending surplus gear to local law enforcement entities, according to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Sessions, speaking to the Fraternal Order of Police in Nashville, said the executive order would allow local police to gain access to life-saving gear that you need to do your job. In May 2015, the administration of then-President Barack Obama banned some military-grade equipment from being acquired by local police. At the time, some accused law enforcement of using excessive force and being too militarized while dealing with protest over the police-involved deaths of minorities in Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Maryland, and other cities. The list of barred items includes tracked armored vehicles, weaponized aircrafts and vehicles, bayonets, grenade launchers, and large-caliber firearms. Under more rigorous control, law enforcement agencies were still able to acquire armored vehicle, tactical vehicles, riot gear, and specialized firearms and ammunition. During a 2015 speech in Camden, New Jersey, Obama said some equipment equipment made for the battlefield is not appropriate for local police departments. Sessions said the Obama-era ban went too far. Kanya Bennett, legislative counsel for the American Civil Liberties Union, issued a statement on Monday saying it defies logic to arm police with weapons of war, grenade launchers, high-caliber assault weapons, and more, but that's precisely what President Trump and Attorney General Sessions have decided to do. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports floodwaters from Tropical Storm Harvey, which have already killed at least 7 people in Texas and was expected to drive tens of thousands from their home, will likely rise in the coming days, according to officials on Monday, as heavy rains continued to pound the U.S. Gulf Coast. The storm was the most powerful hurricane to strike Texas in more than 50 years when it came ashore on Friday near Corpus Christi, about 220 miles south of Houston, and the worst was far from over as the National Weather Service issued numerous flood warnings across the region. Both of Houston's major airports were shut down, along with major highways, rail lines, and a hospital where patients were evacuated over the weekend. As of Monday evening, 267,000 Texans were left without power in the southeast corner of the state. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Pennington is reeling this hour from one of the biggest stories we've seen in decades.
That's right, Kathy. Mayor Sue Hallinan has stepped down following revelations of her involvement in a coupon forging scandal. After a week of fervent denials, Mayor Hallinan admitted that last Thursday she used 5 counterfeit coupons on a weekly shopping trip to the Kroger for a savings totaling $14.81.
Once you've made a fake coupon and you've had a taste of that power, it's hard to stop.
How much time does one woman need?
Mayor Hallinan also apologized for her first response to the controversy when she blamed Jared the paperboy for stealing her coupons and replacing them with the fakes.
I don't know what to say. She could have ruined my career. I hope she goes to jail forever.
And in what many are saying is the ultimate indignity, Mayor Hallinan's photo has been put up on the Kroger's so-called banishment wall, in between such undesirables as the Fredericks boy and infamous gum thief, Mr. Ivins.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and yep, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've been talking about the ongoing struggles behind the scenes in the Bitcoin world that unfortunately have resulted in Bitcoin splitting into a couple of different Bitcoins and may result in that yet again. We may have 3 Bitcoins by the time the year has ended.
The dust has settled.
Right. And
over World War Geek.
And when I say 3 Bitcoin, I mean 3 different competing types of Bitcoin. I don't mean 3 physical Bitcoin or 3 Bitcoin. And it's hard to talk about Bitcoin because Bitcoin means 2 things. Bitcoin means the coin itself, and it means the network that the coins are transacted on. And so it can get a little confusing trying to talk about
It's so
things.
Confusing. It's giving me a headache. You might even say it's a splitting headache.
Yeah, it is pretty frustrating.
Oh boy,
it's pretty frustrating to try to.
I love a good pun in
The worst part about this, though,
that would hurt me.
The worst part about, and we're gonna get to your calls here, but the worst part about all the splitting is, I mean, it's one thing for us to sit here and talk about it for an hour on the radio. We have the ability to get into an explanation of what's going on. You can't tell the average person all this. There's no 30-second elevator pitch for Bitcoin anymore.
No. So here's my suggestion for anybody who's listening and cares. What needs to happen is a point of sale, whether it's online or in real life, needs to accept all coins or a large number of coins or whatever.
Just take the top ones. I don't care about all of them. Most of them don't matter.
But if they integrate Shapeshift, they'd have a huge amount of coins they could accept. And I don't know how it would go exactly. It's not I'm not the designer, but basically I think that the crown needs to be ripped from Bitcoin's head, and the rest of these coins need to have their fair shot at being used as currency.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unfortunately, there is no current provider of a merchant point of sale service. Johnson, you've had some experience with coinpayments.net.
Well, no experience really. Just
but you're doing
research.
an online site. You're not doing a physical store where people can receive Bitcoin on a tablet or something like that.
Well, there's avenues of possibility through this, through coin.
From what I saw, it needed a lot of work. Their point of sale system would not give an instant confirmation.
You would need some additional pieces in order to make the whole thing work.
Yeah, it's not ready for prime time. There's nobody besides BitPay that's done a decent point of sale system, and I've evaluated as many as I could find just as of recent as a few months ago, and nobody comes close to BitPay. And that's sad because BitPay needs competition, and BitPay only accepts Bitcoin at this moment. They're going to start accepting the SegWit 2x Bitcoin and not the original Bitcoin, it sounds like. So again, it gets so confusing. Well, which Bitcoin do you want to pay with today, sir? Bitcoin Cash, or Bitcoin 2x?
Make sure you don't use the wrong one, because then it's gone forever.
That's right. Yeah, because they all have the same address types.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go to Jeff. He's in Livermore, California, listening online. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, guys. So I haven't listened to you guys for a while, but I just tuned in, and I was glad to hear you talking about Bitcoin because, back when I used to listen to you more frequently was around, 2006, 7, 8, maybe 9, and then I kind of dropped off the radar.
Yeah.
I was recovering from a nasty drug and alcohol problem. But to go along with that story, I'm kind of life is a lot better. I've been clean about 4 years, and things are going well. Yeah. However, I'm kind of torturing myself over things because back in, I think it was like 2009 or 10, I had on hand about 20 or 30 Bitcoins. I remember I was listening to you guys, and I was researching blockchain, and I was like, wow, this is so exciting. And this was back in the BitInstant days, and I had slowly accumulated about 30 Bitcoins. I lost my first 10 because I did something funky with my password, and I was kicking myself, but then I just went right back to it and accumulated another. Yeah. And then I accumulated another 20, and then, of course, that's when things started falling downhill with me with the drugs and alcohol stuff, bad marriage. Long story short, I ended up, gambling away part of it and frittering away the rest on the dark web. And like I say, things are going a lot better now. I mean, actually really well, but especially now that Bitcoin has been, just doing crazy stuff. I can't tear myself away from the news, and it's been,
it's painful to think that you had 30 Bitcoins and now you have none.
And maybe I was hoping you guys could, because I always look to you guys as probably the most positive radio show anywhere. You've always been the source of, well, honestly, I mean, more optimism from your show than anywhere on the radio waves. But so I'm kind of hoping for sort of at least to unload and maybe a little quick 5-minute therapy from you guys, because it's just getting ridiculous. I just can't stop. I just can't tear myself away.
So wait, you can't tear yourself away from the news about Bitcoin and the sort of feeling of regret? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I guess all I could say to that would be you got to let it go. I mean, it's gone. It's not coming back. I mean, you did whatever you did with it, and some drug dealer on the dark web's very happy right about now if he didn't spend it. I mean, it's
best I can tell from seeing these Bitcoin millionaires on Facebook that I believe to be Bitcoin millionaires out there. Mm-hmm. Their problems continue to be about the same.
Meaning, like, they still have girl problems or kids,
all the problems in life, all the things that frustrate them, the things that they might shake their fist at or whatever.
Money hasn't solved their issues.
Money hasn't. Look, they're not happy. They might be rich.
Yeah.
But now, like me, they, instead of just being a-holes, they're rich a-holes. Meaning that I'm claiming to be an a-hole here. It's. I don't think money is going to solve all your problems by any stretch of the imagination. However, when you're feeling money being tight, it's really hard to hear that.
No doubt.
Yeah, and money, again, money is not I got a good job. I'm actually doing a good job saving in other ways. So things are comfortable, a good relationship. And again, but I guess what you guys, especially you, Mark, I was just thinking about those stories of lottery winners. Like, a few of them win lotteries and yeah, they do okay. But then there's so many others whose lives seem actually even worse after they come into a bunch of sudden wealth. So maybe. I don't know.
You would have found something to kick yourself over. You felt bad about losing the private keys to your first 10 Bitcoins, and you're still thinking about that. I can't tell you. I can't say that other problems wouldn't have occurred, because they certainly have occurred.
I remember when we lost big time on what was it? My Bitcoin Wallet, I think was the site.
Yeah, Bitcoin Wallet. We got skinned.
This was
real
back
good.
when we were like, oh, this is convenient. Let's use this online wallet where we don't control the keys to store our Bitcoins.
Turns out we just sent some dude our Bitcoin.
Yeah, and then he disappears with everyone's Bitcoin, and then somebody put out like a hit on the guy, and he all of a sudden pops back up, and he's like, "Oh, look, I found half your Bitcoin.
Right.
Here it is.
Please don't kill me."
Yeah. So we lost 40 Bitcoin or something like that in that. I mean, it was crazy.
I think we put 40 in. I'm not entirely.
I know.
clear.
I felt like I lost like 40 something at that time. But here's the thing: you can't focus.
60, my wife and I sent 63 to an address we no longer had the private keys for.
I had 11.64 Bitcoin disappear with InstaWallet.
What was that? One of those online ones?
It was, yeah, but I got it back. It just disappeared for 6 months, and then they were like, "Here it is."
Wow.
Like, here it's back. It's like, they were like, it was some sort of security thing where they realized like InstaWallet was inherently insecure, so they said, "We're shutting down immediately.
Okay.
We're not going to do any more business." I mean, they were really honest, but
That's
it was
good.
harrowing because it was like, well,
What
we're
do you
shutting
do?
down and you can't get your stuff because
we'll let you know.
It was a web wallet that, like, here it is later,
It's frustrating. But the thing is, you can't change the past, and so all you can really do is let go of it and move on. And instead of focusing on everything that you've lost, because I can do that all day long. I mean, I can think about all the bad business deals that have gone south and the money that I've lost over the years in various different aspects. And there's, it'll just drive you
Marijuana
crazy.
roaches that have flown out the window. I bet it really kills you, doesn't it?
No, I'm talking about significant losses here, Mark. But anyway, I could think about those things and think about those people that did that to me, and it would make me into an angry, bitter person, and there's no benefit to that. So I would say the best thing you can do is focus on how you can start building up your Bitcoin inventory again, if indeed that's what you want to get, or one of these other cryptos like Dash or Ether, and start slowly reclaiming that amount and putting in extra money that you can afford to lose into some cryptocurrency. I'd focus on moving ahead. I hope that helps, Jeff, and I thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. We can learn from the past, but dwelling on it never helps.
Ew, get the stinky dog away from me.
Bad breath and bad gas. Petey stopped eating. All his hair fell out.
Itching, licking, missing fur.
At least $5,000 in vet bill. Creams, antibiotics, sprays.
No results.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The shedding has stopped and the itching has stopped.
Her coat is not soft, it's silky, it's healthy and shiny and glossy.
She's got life, she's got energy.
Tons of energy, no more bad smells.
Dinovite's the bomb.
Dinovite is the best thing that's ever happened to my dogs, besides me, of course.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
If food became scarce, would you be able to feed yourself and your family? Have you found some emergency food supplies can cost upwards of $300 for a month's supply, and worst of all, they're packed with chemicals and other unpronounceable ingredients? At 30dayfood.com, our mission is to provide you with food that's not only healthy and natural, but also affordable. At 30dayfood.com, for only $127, you can order meals that are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, packaged in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for a superior shelf life. life. For a limited time only, your order ships free, but that's not all. Enter promo code PREP10 to receive 10% off your entire order. Call 800-700-2184 today. 30dayfood.com keeps prices low by buying directly from suppliers in the Pacific Northwest, then passing the savings along to you. Go to 30dayfood.com or call 800-700-2184 for the most cost-effective and healthy food storage solution. That's 30dayfood.com at 800-700-2184.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free. Take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733, and we've got Skype as well. You can Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Well, join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low and transactions are fast and even could be confirmed instantly if you want. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to dash.org and find out why. As we go back to the phones, your calls and thoughts. We've been talking all things cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically tonight, and the growing pains that Bitcoin's been going through and how this segregated witness fix that they supposedly now have activated hasn't really done anything yet, because apparently even though it's activated, all the wallet providers and the software companies out there relating to Bitcoin, they also have to implement segregated witness, or SegWit, in order for users to begin having a chance to even use it in the first place. So it may be months before segregated witness actually has the intended effect of reducing the network congestion on the Bitcoin blockchain. And by the time that happes, well, we may have
there will be another.
There will be another Bitcoin.
Possibly be another Bitcoin.
There will be two Bitcoins, both of which, three Bitcoins. 2 out of the 3 will have the segregated witness, and 1 out of the 3, Bitcoin Cash, will not. At least that's the idea. Unless, of course, more companies start to break the agreement that they signed back in May, because we had this news story about a company called Bitwala, and I'm not really sure what that is, if it's an exchange or what, but Bitwala has broken their agreement. They're the first company to step out and say, nope, we're not going ahead with this SegWit 2X agreement. If more companies do that, and then the SegWit 2X loses its hashing power support, if there are a bunch of miners that renege on their agreement, then that could really throw everything into disarray as far as when the split happens. What's going to be the real Bitcoin after the dust settles? Or how long is it going to take for the dust to settle? Because Bitcoin Cash and the original Bitcoin right now are fighting it out for hashing power.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very, very close to one another in their hashing power because the miners, they don't really care one way or the other which Bitcoin is better. They just want to know which one's the most profitable.
Right.
So there's all kinds of problems with this, and it's become such a mess. It's so hard to... I don't want to go and talk to a business owner about Bitcoin right now. That used to kind of be the thing that I would do, one of the things that I would do. And, you know, I was promoting it locally here via advertising, and it's like, it's hard for me to really get behind it at this point. Yeah. I can't possibly tell a business owner, hey, yeah, you should take Bitcoin. Because nobody's going to spend it.
You got to kind of see how things shake out. And right now, I would recommend another coin. You have to decide which one would be right. But I mean, there's a lot of advantages to Dash.
There are. Dash isn't the number one, or it's not the number two coin out there, but it could rise up. You never know.
Ether is, but Ether wasn't really meant to be a currency.
Well, it has a currency, but I see what you're saying. Let's go to Doug. He is a Bitcoin fanatic on the line with us here, calling from Minnesota. Hey, Doug.
How dare you call me a fanatic? I'm not a fanatic. I'm crazy like a fanatic. I mean, a fox, but yeah. Right, so yeah, I am. Hey, a couple things. First of all, when you say that merchants don't have any point of sale tools at the disposal, it depends if they want to keep the Bitcoin. There's all kinds of tools. I use the Airbits wallet. I set up a coffee house up by the cabin that Bitcoin bought in Resort Town in Brainerd, Minnesota, and they use the Airbits wallet, and they've got it in merchant mode. Airbits has a merchant mode where you just tap the QR code, spin your iPad around, and I scan it, and it goes right in.
Now,
they don't care about waiting for a confirmation because I just spent $3 on a coffee, which I did on Sunday, this past Sunday.
So with the merchant mode, is this something that is a way for you to have an employee use this app and not have access to your Bitcoin? Because that's the big problem. If you just throw any old wallet on somebody's tablet or phone or whatever, that's fine. Anybody can accept Bitcoin, but you generally don't want to give your cashier your keys to your bank account. You know what I mean?
You know, that's a good point, and their merchant mode does not prevent employees from seeing how much Bitcoin is coming in.
No, but does it prevent them from sending it back out?
Not exactly sure. I'll have to ask Paul Play about that. But
I can look into it.
Here's the thing, Ian. These merchants trust their employees with the cash drawer. So how is that any different than trusting them with the Bitcoin cash drawer?
Well, you'd have to count out at the end of the night. Merchants don't trust their employees. They trust them long enough to
verify. Trust and verify.
Right. I mean, when I worked retail, they counted my drawer.
Yeah, it's good practice to, at the end of the night, if you've had any Bitcoin sales, move them to your own personal wallet. Sure.
Yeah.
And that's for people who want to keep the Bitcoin. And the lady up there, she's so glad she did. I got her involved 3 years ago, and she's been very happy with her
She probably
return,
wasn't even. She's like, fine, dude, I'll give you free coffee. Just send your little magic internet money to this thing, and if that makes you happy.
She was actually smarter than that and had heard of it and was on board. So it was really an easy sell for this particular merchant, but they're hard to come by. So, I mean, now if you want to trade your Bitcoin to cash, which is pointless, it's not the point of Bitcoin, then yeah, BitPay is the only one that I know of. Coinbase does the same service. They have the same service BitPay does, That's what Overstock used.
Coinbase does not have a merchant app. They used to, but they got rid of it a couple years ago.
Well, I don't mean point of sale merchant, but
that's what
online,
I'm talking about.
Like doing the same.
I mean, to me, unless point of sale merchants, unless mom and pop shops can get on Bitcoin and get on it easily, then it's useless. I mean, it's cool for geeks on the internet, but it's never going to catch on.
Easy if they want to keep the Bitcoin, which is the whole point of it. You can use any wallet as your point of sale.
But my point is, the average, I guess you could use a wallet that locks down the send feature, except if you have a passcode. Now, there are wallets like that. Yeah. That's certainly true.
Mycelium does that.
Mycelium is one of those. Right. That's true. Mm-hmm. So there are ways to do it, but these are not easy, kind of simple merchant accessible ways. You have to understand, the average merchant who's accepting Bitcoin is not a Bitcoin fanatic. The average merchant who's accepting Bitcoin, at least around here, is accepting Bitcoin because we asked them to. Because they had enough customers come to them and say, I'm interested in paying with Bitcoin. And enough of them, said, all right, well, I'm willing to make my customers happy. This thing sounds pretty cool. Let's try it out.
Blockchain.com.
Sure. Blockchain.com.
Blockchain.com.
Which is another site from blockchain.info, as I understand.
Right. It offers a merchant wallet that you can use there.
I'm sorry to tell you that Blockchain is not developing their merchant wallet, as according to an email that I sent them over the summer.
Yeah, it's still there.
They have it, but they're not developing it. They're not, therefore, adding any coins to it, and they're not supporting it actively either, so it's useless. Hey, Doug, I'm not sure if you got to your point yet here. Hang on. I know you want to talk about fees, so we're going to bring you back. 855-450-FREE is the toll-free number. 855-450-3733, Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
If there's a toxic chemical, biological, gas, smoke emergency while traveling, at home, or on your job, are you protected? Are you prepared? There are over 400,000 fires in the USA every year. Up to 85% of all deaths in a fire are due to smoke inhalation. 3 minutes without air, and we as humans will die. Be prepared and escape safely with our Safe Escape Smoke Hoods, giving you up to 60 minutes of breathable air protection. Order yours online at ase-safety.com. That's ase-safety.com. And get up to 40% off, plus free shipping.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit did your nerves spike. You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves, bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. How'd you like to try the best pillow you'll ever use, risk-free for 60 days? We're talking about My Pillow. It's designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. I've been using it, and I finally washed mine, by the way.
Mine's been washed so many times.
Took me a year, but I finally did wash it, and I washed Jazzy, the studio beast, her My Pillow as well, before we went off to the camping trip, and fluffed it back up, too, when I did that.
As it does, yeah.
Dryer, very, very cool. Because this is the pillow that you can actually wash. That's something you can't do with every other pillow I've ever owned. And you can dry it in your dryer as well. So you go to MyPillow.com and use code FTL like Free Talk Live. You'll get your MyPillow at half price or 2 for the price of 1, however you want to look at it. It's up to you how many you order. Again, code FTL like Free Talk Live over at MyPillow.com. If you don't like it in the first 60 days, they will give you your purchase price back. Now, obviously, you're going to have to ship the pillows back, so there's a little bit of cost involved there, but your purchase price will come back to you. The pillow itself, by the way, if you keep it, is guaranteed to last you for 10 years. A 10-year warranty over at MyPillow.com. Again, code FTL like Free Talk Live. Doug is on the line in Minnesota. You are back on with us here. Doug, we've been talking about some of the growing pains that have been happening with Bitcoin and the fees right now, where the median fee is approximately $5 to send a Bitcoin transaction. You wanted to comment?
According to who? Because I just sent $5 from my Airbits wallet to my Mycelium wallet just to test that out. Now, when that article was written, that might have been the case, and there's so many variables.
No, I checked it today, dude. You go to bitcoinfees.21.co.
Yeah, but that is just a website that is conglomerating a bunch of different things. If you use a wallet that actually, accurately predicts the correct miner fees, and Ian, remember when I did that? It was a few minutes, like a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I said it probably won't be confirmed until tomorrow. It was confirmed with 3 confirmations about 15 minutes ago.
Okay,
I can send you the screenshot of my Mycelium wallet.
I'm not doubting you. How many satoshis per byte did you send?
Let me. Oh God, I have to look.
Because that's ultimately. Now we're getting a little technical. That's ultimately the defining factor on whether a fee is big enough or not is the number of satoshis per byte. Now, a satoshi, for listeners that are not familiar, is the 8th decimal point of a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
so,
it's a fraction of a cent. A small fraction.
Very, very small fraction, right. So
just like 100th of a dollar is called a penny for those who want a metaphor.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the smallest.
The 100th place of a dollar is called a penny. The 8th decimal point on a Bitcoin is called a satoshi.
Yeah, exactly. So fees are calculated per byte. Yeah, the fees are calculated per byte, and it's a certain number of satoshis that are sent per byte transacted is how these things are calculated. Right now, the recommended number is 450 satoshis per byte for what is called the median transaction, and that totals out to about $4.50. It happens to at the moment. But
okay. That's just crazy. I use a wallet, Airbits, which predicts and scans the entire Bitcoin blockchain, and I'm not sure how it gathers its data. but it finds the low, medium, and high miner fee.
Yep.
I was really surprised. I got 3 confirmations within 30 minutes.
That's great, man. That's great. I sent a low-fee
Yeah.
transaction this week, and it took me 24 hours to get the first confirmation.
I sent one
What wallet
late
did you
last
use?
week, and it took me 4 or 5 days.
I used the Bitcoin, the QT wallet, the full node.
I used blockchain.com.
Yeah. Don't do that.
in that
Don't
case.
do that. You use phone wallets. Use these companies who are customer service oriented instead of geeky software guys who are banging their heads against, trying to get Segwit and the whole network up and running. I would use other phone wallets. I really manage a lot of my Bitcoin through phone wallets, and they're so convenient. They find
I can tell you
the
this,
lowest
dude.
fee.
The other day, I sent a $3.50 transaction using the blockchain.info wallet, which has been historically very good at estimating fees like you're talking about. And I sent that to buy a $10 meal at the local burger.
Yeah. This weekend was rough. I mean, and it has gone higher. I'm not saying it's not always that high. The mempool is cleared out, apparently, because the Bitcoin Cash shenanigans, miners jumping between different chains has settled down. But it was high for me, too. I was sending $3 fees a couple times, but it's very rare. And right now, it's not that high. And by the way, you were wondering why Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin price is going up, or the Bitcoin Cash price is whatever it is. There is a strategy that miners have to Bitcoin pro Bitcoin miners mine the Bitcoin Cash chain to prevent it from doing its automatic difficulty change, which would lower the difficulty so much that it would be more profitable to mine on that
Well, they have. That difficulty change has happened multiple times in the last few weeks, and so I get what you're saying. That is one of the games that's sort of being played here. So yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary with these fees. I get what you're saying. I have had a low fee as well, as low as like 37 cents within the last few weeks, but the majority of the fees I've had recently have been fairly high. And it's not something that is going to be sustainable for Bitcoin to be a usable thing for the average person. And I think that's tragic. I think it's tragic. Yeah.
Well, listen, now Bitcoin has changed. I agree. Back when I ran Watch My Bit, it was a currency that was nearly free to use. And that's why my model worked. It doesn't work anymore.
Right. You had a
Bitcoin
business that was based on microtransactions, which Bitcoin used to be useful for and no longer is at all.
Fairly correct, right? And I agree with you, and that's going to change. This is growing pains. Segwit is out. It's going to take time for the community to adopt it. To think it's going to make instant changes was a little pie in the sky. However, that being said, greater than 1 megabyte blocks have been mined, like 1.2 megabytes. We're using Segwit. That is an instant blockchain increase. And people were thinking that the blockchain increase from Segwit was only because we moved, it was like an accounting game. We moved to a different data structure for the signature data. But the blocks are actually bigger using Segwit. And you can look it up. There were a few blocks that were larger than 1 megabyte.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting.
And that was instant. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I would watch more of World Crypto Network, Thomas Hunt and the gang. They really explain this stuff well, and they shortened their shows to 10 to 15 minutes. Every day they have a report. I like those guys. They're pro-Segwit, of course, so grain of salt there.
All right. Well, thank you for the recommendation. I'm not pro anything.
I don't hate Segwit.
I just want to know. I just want something to work. I don't want to see Bitcoin fail. And I feel like right now it is failing, despite the fact that that its price is going up. I think technically it's a failure at this moment. I hope that changes.
I'm for a value-backed currency, and Bitcoin provided that to me until a couple of years ago when it began to create all these fees as far as transactions go, and that's it's disillusioned me.
If it's not a currency, Doug, it ain't worth anything to me. I mean, it's
well, now it is your gold worth anything? Now it's a store of value, and that's going to change.
But it's only a store of value because people haven't figured out that it's not useful anymore.
Free Talk Live talked about gold and silver as currencies. We have always been for currency.
The average person has not figured any of these things out, dude. Right. The average person doesn't know that there are even 2 Bitcoins right now.
Is a huge use case beyond currency.
Yeah, but any of these other competitors can do the exact same thing. Why would anyone want to store their value in Bitcoin when they have to spend $20 to send their value, whereas compared
they're not sending it, they're storing it. Like you
at
store
some
gold
point you want to do something with it, right? Like at some point you want to take your value.
37 cents that I just sent, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah,
so
we'll see if we'll see if that holds. Thanks for the call, Doug, because it certainly is not holding steady moment to moment, but it's a developing situation. I appreciate the input. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
Will the government protect your family from Iran and North Korea's newest weapon, EMP? We buy guns to protect ourselves, home, health, and car insurance for accidents. Maybe you also have food storage. But how would you keep your refrigerator running in a long-term EMP blackout? Using tested military designs, the Solark EMP-hardened solar generator protects and powers your critical appliances for years without burying items underground or wrapping them in aluminum foil. Unlike other preps, Solark is used every day to help offset your electric bill automatically. Visit PortableSolarLLC.com to learn how easily expandable the system is. Solark is the most affordable and powerful solution on the market. The whole system even fits in the back of a pickup or SUV and can install in less than an hour. See for yourself why Solark beats other off-grid systems at PortableSolarLLC.com. Don't wait for the government. Go to PortableSolarLLC.com to learn why Solark is energy insurance for your family.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free and join us on the radio. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype on in here. Skype username is LRN.FM. And joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts here as we've been talking all things cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, more specifically, has been the focus of the discussion here tonight. What is the future of Bitcoin? I don't know, man. I mean, it's overwhelmingly confusing, and I'm following the situation fairly closely. And I'm flummoxed as to what it's all going to look like come December. It's frustrating. As somebody who has been a big advocate for Bitcoin over time, to have it splinter like this, it's hard to handle. Let's go to David. He's on the line, calling from North Carolina. Hello, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
With the transaction times for Bitcoin confirmation taking days, and it costs them like $5.
In some cases, it's taking days, but that's if you pay less than the recommended fee. So if you were to pay a fraction of the recommended fee, which is about $5 right now, then it could...
was a few hours ago.
Well, it has been, yeah. Apparently the mempool has gone down in size, so that may be affecting the transaction fees. But if you pay a fraction of the recommended fee, then it could take a day or more.
But yeah, for that time and money, you could send people legit coin instead. I mean, you don't really have to worry about the silver coins in your pocket splitting into two and becoming double, and nothing like that. And there's something you said years ago, Ian, that I often think about. When in the last segment you were talking to this gentleman, and you said most people just hadn't figured out Bitcoin or even gold or silver. And there's something you said back in the day along the lines of, when you put a piece of silver in somebody's hands, you don't have to explain anything. They know it's worth something.
That's true. That's true.
Don't watch the video, like the Man on the Street videos, where they go out and they say, "What would you rather have?
Oh, there is
a chocolate bar or this 1 ounce silver coin?"
Mark Dice, I think, did that.
Yeah.
I gotta believe that Mark Dice is editing for
I don't believe
Nimrods.
Nope. Don't believe it at all.
Because
there's only one way to find out, and that's to try to duplicate it.
There were people out there that he was offering gold ounces to, or like a $100 bill, and people were taking the $100 bill. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that you're not just finding people walking down the street.
You don't know who is offering this to you. I mean, how do you know offhand if it's actually silver?
How do you know offhand if it's a $100 bill?
All right.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Look,
I've often thought about that too. I mean, you could get testing kits, to make sure your stuff is actually legit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just stick with a vendor or a particular mining company or whatever. So it'd be stamp PAMP or, Swiss franc or whatever. And you get into a pattern, you just spot check it every now and again. But there was another question I actually had for you all, and it's something else that you said, Ian, about why would people stick around with Bitcoin when there's so many other alternatives out there? I mean, it's practically limitless. So it sort of kind of begs the question then, where's the inherent value in cryptocurrency if there are unlimited possibilities? Isn't that effectively the same as debasing?
Well, I see what you're saying, but the value in the case of cryptocurrencies is in the networks that they have. So if there's a cryptocurrency with a very small footprint and a very small network that's easily, hijackable, then that's not particularly valuable. But a mature currency in the cryptocurrency world, like Bitcoin or Ether, for instance, is much more highly valued because there's a lot behind it. There's a lot of computing power behind it. There's a lot of security as a result of that behind it. So the more mining power there is behind these currencies, the more solid they are as far as the security of the system is concerned. So there's value in the network itself of Bitcoin, which is one of the reasons why it continues to go up in value despite its broken fees and the kind of the messy situation that it finds itself in, is because it's so popular. People want it just because they've heard good things about it at this point. They don't know anything more than that. They just know they can see the prices going up and they want to get in on that. They don't care about all the other details.
Yeah, hype is hype. But anyways, I hope everything works out for you on that front. And y'all be easy, and great show as always.
Thanks, David, for the call tonight. I just love. I envision David just sitting there like flipping his coins in his hand.
I could hear it.
Yeah, was that what was going on back there?
Hear something that
I wasn't sure if that was like a donkey in the background or what
like
that was.
Sounded like a silver coin to me.
All right. So the toll-free number here, 855-450, free like freedom. And the fact is, over all this time, gold and silver has held its value very effectively against the dollar. It has.
I recommend it as a hedge against inflation, but I know people who chose a couple of years ago between Bitcoin and metals, and they said, I'm going to take the metals. Silver's underpriced right now. And they were right. Silver was underpriced, and it did go up.
And came back down.
The amount that Bitcoin has gone up is
significant.
I mean, factors above
Bitcoin's
that.
the number one over the last few years. Bitcoin has been the number one investment in the world, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it at all. What else would you put your money in to get those kind of returns?
So let's talk to Adam. He's in New Hampshire. Adam, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead. And you got to turn down whatever that is in the background.
Oh, sorry. I've got you on speakerphone. Let me take you off.
Yeah, that'll do it. I appreciate it.
Is that any better?
Much better, and you sound better too. Go ahead.
Thanks. I've been listening to you guys for the last few weeks talking about the whole riots and the Charlottesville situation and the race idea, and obviously the concept of free speech has come up. And I'm curious, and I'm wondering. I've sort of been redefining the definition for myself. I'm not really sure, but I'm wondering, where does the idea of free speech end and the idea of a threat, or sort of inciting a threat, begin? I'm wondering what your opinions are on that.
Good question.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, because what you'll hear people say is that there's no such thing as free speech because, and they'll have a list of reasons. One of the reasons is threats. Threats, to me, are in a different category. So if, for instance, I'm throwing a punch at your face, do you have the right or ability to touch me to block it, or to to swing back?
Yes.
Well, I haven't hit you. That gets. Wait! I haven't hit you. I mean, I'm driving my car at you at 90 miles an hour in the wrong lane, but there's no victim here, right? Like, so at some point, your actions, and speaking as an action, it's not separate from actions. It is an action. And at some point, your actions are projecting violence. And in the case of a flying fist, it's a threat. It's not violence yet because you haven't contacted, but it's a threat of violence.
An imminent threat. Yep.
And in the same way, a threat, I have to distinguish between threats. There is if you come onto my property, I will tweak your nose.
Yep.
That is...
It's more of a promise.
Yeah, that's sort of it's a warning.
Yeah.
And then there's, I really dislike you. You make me upset. Now, that's threatening because people have debased the language, right? That's not a threat, but somebody might consider it threatening. In the same way, they might consider somebody of the wrong ethnicity walking through their neighborhood threatening, but it's not a threat. A threat is, I'm going to punch you in your nose. Right? There's no qualification to it. You don't have to do anything in order to merit the punch. The punch is just coming. If I'm going to kill you, that's a threat. And, well, I think one should react if, you can take those things seriously. And I think that somebody can, be threatening. For instance, somebody who is saying something to the effect of, it sure would be terrible if your house blew up tonight with your family in it, Mark.
No, I don't know who would possibly say that.
Me either.
I think so. My question, you're kind of leading right into not leading where I want to go, where I want you to go. But I would agree. Like, I would say that me saying I want to kill you, I'm going to kill you, would be considered a threat. But I'm wondering, like, if I say instead of I'm about to kill you, like, I would be okay with killing you. Is that a threat?
I think that would fall, for me, that would fall in the area of threatening. And you would have to be combined with other things in order to be qualified as a threat. So are they in front of you? Are they, are their fists clenched? Are they breathing heavily? I want to know some other things. If they're sitting there smoking a cigar and chuckling, while your guys are enjoying some scotch, maybe it was a joke.
You need to know things like, are they white, cis, and male?
Oh, God.
Because then if you say, hey, you're attractive, I'd like to go out with you sometime, then clearly you're threatening rape.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is that, obviously we've been talking about the marches, the protests, and the counter-protests, and the alt-right and Antifa. I'm really not one for groups. I'm trying to look at individuals here, and I watched the
well, hold on. It sounds like you're driving at a point here. We're going to let you continue in a moment. More with Adam, and your calls and thoughts are welcome. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom, 855-450-3733. And also coming up, Johnson's going to talk about the flooding in Houston. Is it zoning's fault or the lack of it? Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Ooh, get the stinky dog away from me. DINOVITE.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,324 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,401. Antiwar.com reports every North Korean missile test fuels a new round of tensions and threats from the U.S., but Monday's North Korean test appears to be a particularly major feat in the nation's missile program, as a Hwasong-12 missile was fired over Japan's northern island of Hokkaido and flew some 1,600 miles total before landing in the North Pacific. The intermediate-range ballistic missile flew at a height of 550 kilometers and led to air raid sirens in northern Japan, with locals being warned to take shelter in basements. Japan says they made no attempts to try to shoot the missile down. That North Korea would make such a launch attempt at all is a show of confidence in the maturity of this missile system. Previous missile tests have failed in flight, and a failure in a test over Japanese territory could have easily been disastrous, hitting Japanese soil and starting a war. As North Korea's missiles improve, the predictable U.S. response of a new round of threats makes the possibility of a major war even graver, and analysts have agreed for months that there is no good military option with respect to North Korea. The Trump administration has long emphasized that diplomacy has failed, and it's also clear that escalating threats and military buildups have fared no better, and shows that the U.S. desperately needs to de-escalate the situation before they find themselves in a disastrous war. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports President Donald Trump issued an executive order rolling back an Obama-era policy preventing the U.S. military from sending surplus gear to local law enforcement entities, according to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Sessions, speaking to the Fraternal Order of Police in Nashville, said the executive order would allow local police to gain access to life-saving gear that you need to do your job. In May 2015, the administration of then-President Barack Obama banned some military-grade equipment from being acquired by local police. At the time, some accused law enforcement of using excessive force and being too militarized while dealing with protest over the police-involved deaths of minorities in Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Maryland, and other cities. The list of barred items includes tracked armored vehicles, weaponized aircrafts and vehicles, bayonets, grenade launchers, and large-caliber firearms. Under more rigorous control, law enforcement agencies were still able to acquire armored vehicle, tactical vehicles, riot gear, and specialized firearms and ammunition. During a 2015 speech in Camden, New Jersey, Obama said some equipment made for the battlefield is not appropriate for local police departments. Sessions said the Obama-era ban went too far. Kanya Bennett, legislative counsel for the American Civil Liberties Union, issued a statement on Monday saying it defies logic to arm police with weapons of war, grenade launchers, high-caliber assault weapons, and more, but that's precisely what President Trump and Attorney General Sessions have decided to do. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports floodwaters from Tropical Storm Harvey, which have already killed at least 7 people in Texas and was expected to drive tens of thousands from their home, will likely rise in the coming days, according to officials on Monday, as heavy rains continued to pound the U.S. Gulf Coast. The storm was the most powerful hurricane to strike Texas in more than 50 years when it came ashore on Friday near Corpus Christi, about 220 miles south of Houston, and the worst was far from over as the National Weather Service issued numerous flood warnings across the region. Both of Houston's major airports were shut down, along with major highways, rail lines, and a hospital where patients were evacuated over the weekend. As of Monday evening, 267,000 Texans were left without power in the southeast corner of the state. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A local grandmother is beginning to realize that her family never even looked for a better nursing home. A man leaves a father-daughter dance with a different girl than he came with, and an earthquake late warning system goes off in Haiti. Watch as yet another precious fraction of your life passes mercilessly in front of your very eyes. This is the Onion Week in Review. Shortly after discovering he had locked himself outside of his suburban home Thursday, fully nude claims adjuster David Ronzo delivered a moving and thought-provoking treatise on the frailty of the human condition to a slowly gathering crowd of his neighbors. Ronzo, who initially panicked when he realized he was naked, soon turned and faced confused passersby and delivered a stirring oration on the grim facts of mortality, along with the indomitable nature of the human spirit. In other news, a man is arrested for stealing over $50,000 worth of beards from Hank Williams Jr. A pretty lady is playing hard to follow, and a dog named Murph lives up to his name. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can dial in toll-free to take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733 with you in the studio tonight. You've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
So we actually had a gentleman on the line who unfortunately dropped off the line. We weren't able to hear the rest of his story. He's welcome to call back if there was some technical issue. Normally our rule here is one call per night, but that's only if the call's done. And in the case of technical difficulties, that usually means we'll bend that rule. So you're welcome to call back in if you want. Adam, our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. We've been talking throughout the show about the growing pains that Bitcoin has been experiencing. It has resulted this month, about a month ago now, so it was August 1st, when Bitcoin had its first hard fork into two competing Bitcoin currencies, one calling itself Bitcoin, the other calling itself Bitcoin Cash. Now that original Bitcoin is headed towards another hard fork and another potential split into two. So by the end of this year, we may be faced with three competing Bitcoins, all three of which will be competing for the miners' attention out there, because the Bitcoins have to be mined into existence. They have to be mined in order to have confirmations and security on the network to make sure that there aren't BS transactions being put out there and double spending and these problems that would happen if we didn't have the mining process to check Bitcoin. Well, if the miners are, divvied up, now instead of one Bitcoin, there's three Bitcoins.
Split three ways.
That means all the chains are weaker than they were previous, and they're competing constantly to attract the miners over to them. So right now, Bitcoin Cash is competing with Bitcoin to see who will be the most profitable Bitcoin to mine, and the miners most of them are just going to go behind which one's the most profitable. They don't care so much about the ideology behind the coins.
Right.
Some of the miners are ideologically motivated, but what percentage of them? I don't know.
I know the ones at Bitcoin.com are.
And Bitcoin.com, most of their miners are on Bitcoin. So they're just going after what's the most profitable.
Well, I guess I'm saying the mining, the people who set up the mining pool are in it for ideology. But that ideology doesn't necessarily mean that you don't mine Bitcoin or SegWitCoin or whatever it is. It's the ideology of a value-backed currency.
Okay. So as far as the miners are concerned, it doesn't matter who set up the mining pool. What the miners decide is what matters. And the individual miners are the ones who decide what to mine at any given time, whether they're in a pool or not, or whichever pool they're in. So what we were discussing was SegWit 2X was this agreement that came out in May between the supermajority of the miners and a bunch of 50-something companies, big companies in the Bitcoin sphere. And the agreement was, well, we're going to implement two of these different proposals for scaling Bitcoin to network, capacity, to scaling the capacity to the demand in the marketplace. And one of them was called Segregated Witness, which is a technology that we explained in the first hour. And the other one is increasing the block size. And one of the companies that had signed this agreement, now that the segregated witness side of things has been put into place, they're bailing out. They're saying, we're not going to go with this agreement anymore. See you later. And that could mean that other companies are going to follow suit. Because as the folks over at Cointelegraph.com point out here, this company Bitwala is the one that has been the first to break the agreement. They say, quote, we would like to honor the agreement that we subscribed to as one of the first movers, unbeknownst to the fact that most developers would not enter the agreement. We also, however, are a service company that has and will always follow what our customers use and want to use. We partially rely on third-party payment processors and exchanges to convert our cryptocurrencies and must build our products on what they support, unquote. The last comment part of the comment comes as a surprise, given that most major exchanges and payment processors are either signatories of the agreement or have openly supported it. So that just doesn't make sense, the excuse that they gave. Bitwala's withdrawal from the New York agreement could be the beginning of its unraveling. A compromise is, by definition, an agreement with which neither side gets what they want. Since the small block camp has now seen the segregated witness activated.
That's what I found so amazing about this is the one side appeared to be willing to compromise. The other side was like, no, it's going to be our way. Well, I knew who was going to fail as soon as I heard that.
Mm-hmm. So the small block camp has now seen SegWit activated, and they have no incentive to follow through on the second part, which is the block size increase scheduled to happen in November. So they got what they wanted out of the deal. So they're walking. The only thing binding them was their promise, and Bitwala's withdrawal could give others the necessary cover to withdraw as well. Now, there hasn't been a big avalanche since this, but we've got 3 months to go until this supposed next split happens.
Sure, and why would you necessarily telegraph what you were going to do
this
as a
early?
company? That's sort of the market failure of it all. I guess I could explain it as a line of soldiers. As a soldier, the most important thing to you is that the guy next to you stands in
Holds
a
the
line.
line.
And I'm talking about soldiers with shields and spears, not
like 300.
Yeah, 300 kind of guys. So the guy standing next to you, and the guy standing next to you are the important parts for you. However, the very best place for you to be is running the other direction.
Right.
Right. So it would be best if you could get all your friends to stand in line and for you to go the other way. Now, may or may not work in this circumstance, but we'll see.
It's not just Bitcoin companies that might withdraw their support for the agreement. According to CoinDance, which is a website, coin.dance, strange web URL, but that's what it is, miners were split before the compromise, with 40% in favor of segregated witness, 40% supporting bigger blocks, and 20% undecided. It's logical to assume that some of the 40% of miners who supported segregated witness but not big blocks might decide that they don't want bigger blocks either. What does that mean? Well, either SegWit 2X will not happen this November as originally planned, or it will happen but be far more contentious than it was expected. If the supermajority of miners who signed the agreement keep their word and begin mining bigger blocks, then the hard fork will almost certainly be successful. However, if Bitcoin's core team and others in the small block camp decide to refuse the hard fork, a chain split will certainly occur. At that point, there will be much debate and confusion over who is entitled to use the name Bitcoin. After all, Bitcoin's core development team are the official maintainers of Bitcoin's GitHub repository. That's the place where they keep their code for everybody to look at if they want. While anybody could write a different implementation of Satoshi's white paper, whoever maintains Satoshi's original code repository is likely to have significant influence in the marketplace. While the fork will be successful on a technical level if the miners support it, from a marketing standpoint, it could be catastrophic. How will new users, this is, in my opinion, they boil this down to the most important question here. How will new users, unversed in the years-long scalability controversy, know which Bitcoin is really Bitcoin when all this is said and done?
I don't know.
And that, to me, is the ultimate failure of all of this. I mean, look, I'm glad that Bitcoin Cash split off. I mean, it worked out for everybody. Everybody's price has gone up on all of this stuff when the Bitcoin Cash split happened, when Bitcoin became 2 Bitcoins and became these 2 competing Bitcoins. So I'm glad from that perspective that each side sort of got what they wanted. The big block people have their own Bitcoin now, and the small block people have their own Bitcoin
Everybody
now.
went to their room.
And that alone is confusing enough. But to make it into 3 Bitcoins at the end of this year, it's going to become absolutely intolerably difficult to explain this stuff to anybody.
What has to happen is some point of sale, people have to, from point of sale, have to handle this problem for people. So if I send a coin, no matter what I send at some point of sale, opportunity, whether it's online or at a retailer, that the point of sale software needs to figure it out.
No, it can't. It can't, because you've got too many potential human errors involved there. As you pointed out earlier, the Bitcoin, these 3 competing Bitcoins, there's 2 now, but by the end of the year there could be 3. They're all going to have the same address structure. So normally if for instance I want to send you Dash,
right,
and you show me your Bitcoin address and I pull up my Dash wallet and I try to scan that address, it's going to be like, nope, this isn't a Dash address.
Right. I'd know
but if you pull up your Bitcoin Cash address and I'm like, Mark, I want to send you some Bitcoin, original Bitcoin, but you give me a Bitcoin Cash address, well, sorry, you're not going to get the Bitcoin that I send. In fact, the Bitcoin I send is going to go off to somebody who may not even be you. It may not even be accessible after I do that.
You probably will. You'll be able to get it out in the same way that you
Not necessarily. There's more coming up here in moments. 855 450 free like freedoms. There's going to be too many screw-ups. There's more on the way here. This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free like freedom. Something else is going to take this throne at some point.
If you're an unincorporated business owner, it's too late for you. That is, if you've already been sued and lost your home, your car, and your personal life savings. But if you haven't been sued yet, there is still time to incorporate and protect your personal assets. And the first step is just a phone call away, because Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation toolkit to all business owners, including exclusive information on how to start and grow your business. For your free incorporation toolkit, Toolkit. Call now, 1-800-940-9829. Incorporation is the shield that protects your personal assets. Without it, you could lose everything. That's why at Incorporate.com, they just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. They don't provide legal or financial advice. If someone sues tomorrow, will you lose everything? Don't wait until it's too late. Call now for your free incorporation toolkit. Hurry, they're still giving them away for free at 1-800-940-9829. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial, toll free, take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've been doing a fundraiser over the last few months here on Free Talk Live, Mark, that you've been heading up for a Ugandan orphanage that's being built to replace a really shoddy room that 40 kids are sleeping on the floor in, apparently. So you're through the second floor pretty much at this point. They're going to put the roof on next. What's the latest?
Yeah, we've got the funding sent for the roof, and hopefully that'll get started here in the relatively near future. They had to wait for some concrete to dry. It should be dry at this point. But getting the workmen back after every time a whole bunch of concrete has to dry is always sort of the challenge. But it should be relatively soon, and then they'll be back on their way. Once the roof's on, then they're in pretty pretty good shape. Obviously, there's still some more things to be fixed, but the kids will have more room at that point. It's right now they're sleeping in a room that has no power, and it's a earthen floor with some stuff on the sort of stuff on the floor to to sleep on and that kind of thing. They're sleeping head to toe in there. So, just getting the roof on is going to be a huge benefit.
All right. So, is there more to fundraise at this point, or is this a done deal?
No, we're not done yet.
Okay.
There's still more to do.
What's the next step after the roof?
As far as dollars and cents,
Yeah.
or next step?
As far as what you need to fundraise for.
Yeah, I'm going for about $4,000 for the next phase.
And what'll that entail? Just the finishing?
There's some
process?
interior stuff that needs to be done. I'm not entirely clear on what they're going to do on the inside. There's been, there was the original plan and how much money that was, and I have to kind of match what happened and, the original plan. It is, it's a big project, and there's a confusion as far as language goes.
Okay.
So I need to fix that. I need to get with the guy who's handling the money, and that's the more difficult. He runs a church, and he's working full time, and also building the orphanage and all that stuff. So
you're accepting contributions right now for the final send, basically.
I'm hoping that's the case. Yes.
Final round, and the contributions are being doubled or tripled, actually.
Tripled.
So there's Jax.io, the official wallet of Free Talk Live, and then there's GetCell411.com, Cell411, the awesome decentralized emergency notifications app. These are the companies that are double matching, basically. So tripling effectively every donation. If you donate $10, it becomes 30. If you donate $30, it becomes 90. I mean, this is an incredibly powerful way to donate, and it has made this so much easier to. So thanks so much to Jax and Cell411 for making this a lot. I mean, people are more likely to donate when there's matching funds, I think. And so now's the time. If you want to help out, go to hope.freetalklive.com. You can see some pictures and stuff there of what's been happening and all kinds of donation options at hope.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones, and then we'll talk about what's going on in Houston with the flooding. Some people are blaming the lack of zoning. But first, someone calling themselves Mouth-Breathing Dullard is calling from the Grand Canyon. You're on Free Talk Live. Sounds like you're in the Grand Canyon so far that the cell phone signal is not getting out, and we cannot understand a word that you're saying. Grand Canyon going
Minister
once?
Edge.
Hello?
Hey, Minister Edge.
Yes.
All the money he's made since he got let out of prison too early, like murder.
Do you have your hand over the receiver? Because I can't make out a word you're saying. It's not losing packets.
Oh, that's a dang shame, because I really am in the Grand Canyon, and I know that libertarians could keep up with me going down or up the trail. But Minister Edge, why do you pay for that little Ugandan little whorehouse that you have got going on the radio
Ugandan whorehouse.
out of your own
That's
pocket?
nice. Huh?
Why don't you pay for it out of your own pocket, con man Edge, Minister? You've made a lot of money.
I've sent a lot.
Why don't you pay?
Go ahead and answer the question.
Yeah, I've sent a lot of money towards this project, and if there's a shortfall or whatever, I fill that in.
Yeah, it's part of the idea is to get other people behind a good project, a good charitable project. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
What he's saying,
with
he's
something.
annoyed that we're talking about it because why don't I just get a couple of people who've got money to pay for it all and just stop talking about it. Talk about things James wants to talk about.
Thanks for the call. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. So, hope.freetalklive.com. You can contribute there. Let's change gears. I mean, I don't think there's much else to say about Bitcoin. It's a confusing nightmare at the moment, and there's no sign on the horizon that anything's going to get less confusing, and I think it's tragic, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know, it's hard to pick another winner. I like Dash. I've definitely, besides Dash sponsoring the show, I have taken some of the church Bitcoin funds, and I have turned them into Dash. I did that before the last split happened because I was a little nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen with Bitcoin. Was the price going to go down? Maybe I should diversify before Bitcoin splits into two. And so that's what I did. I got some Ether and I got some Dash, and those two seem like pretty good ones, but I don't know. I don't know who the next king is going to be of cryptocurrency. It could be something we haven't even seen yet.
I like Dash's community. I like the momentum that's behind it. I gotta say I like Monero from a
price just tripled in the last week.
From a security standpoint, I think it is.
Some people like Zcash. They say it's even more secure than Monero.
Isn't one of my favorites. I've heard people say things like that.
Roger Vere's behind Zcash.
He has some Zcash.
He was one of the founders of it.
He had hedged his bets. I'm very interested in IOTA. That stands for the Internet of Things.
I'm interested in that too. That's one of the newest ones on the scene. It just popped up in June, and it's very different. It's one of the ones that is not blockchain based. It's a tangle, as they call it.
Yeah.
So
rather than paying for a transaction, your computer does 2 transactions.
Right, it has to solve 2 waiting transactions before it can send its transaction that you want to send. So it's designed to scale, and it is a very, very interesting technology. It's not quite ready for prime time yet. It's still in beta at this point. So, these things are changing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of changing, I just want to bring this up, just a little geekery here for a moment. So one of the crypto libraries behind Zcash is a crypto library called LibSodium.
Okay.
It's the sodium library. I guess it's built off of some sort of a salting sort of process for cryptographic encoding. Has recently been included in the most recent version of PHP.
Okay.
And
which is a web programming
language.
It's
a web programming. It's a very widely used web programming programming language. And that cryptographic library being included is kind of significant because, first of all, it just underwent an independent audit for its to find out whether or not this LibSodium was up to muster cryptographically, and they found no problems with it whatsoever.
Okay.
In this independent audit. And what I find also doubly interesting about that is that could lead to, PHP's long been kind of criticized as being kind of cryptographically and security-wise garbage.
So it's upgraded then.
So yeah, this upgrade could significantly change things for some websites and web programming. When you take into account HTML5 and this other stuff, and then PHP, and we could start to see some better security online, but potentially, I think.
Okay, you're saying that's sort of an outgrowth from all this cryptocurrency development?
I think so. I think it's helping. It can't be hurting for sure.
No doubt. We'll continue here in moments, and we'll shift gears into the reality of what's happening on the ground in Houston, Texas, where some people are blaming the lack of zoning, which has always been something that libertarians have touted about Houston, as part of the problem behind the flooding. Is it true? It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Tyler, time to go for our family walk.
Just let me nap a little longer.
You promised we'd get more active.
I know. How come you're so ready to go?
It's Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them from superberries.com/radio, and right now we can get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus, we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait to try them. I'll get the dog.
I'll get the kids.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Welcome aboard. Your new science fiction adventure is ready to launch. Discover an amazing journey at GalaxyQuestBooks.com. Start a new sci-fi adventure with the Guardian series, a classic sci-fi mystery that starts 500 years in the future. From author D. Arthur Gussner. Series available from Barnes & Noble or Amazon as paperback or ebooks. GalaxyQuestBooks.com, where the adventure begins.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Just dial toll-free. Take control of the airwaves here. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
As we continue here, changing gears over to the tragedy in Houston, Texas, or in that area, where people are, well, in some cases, up to their shoulders in floodwaters, it seems like. There's some pretty serious flooding. And, Johnson, you have a story from Newsweek. It's actually, I guess, an opinion piece where some guy is saying that it's because Houston doesn't have zoning is why people are drowning.
Yep.
That's pretty much the idea.
This guy, Steve Russell, writing for Newsweek, just opportunistic, out of, just crazy. These collectivist pro-government people are just like using every opportunity to show just how much they've lost their minds. And so,
wait a minute. By the way, didn't New Orleans have zoning?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to check with that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But the zoning was 10 feet below sea level.
Well, Houston is drowning in its freedom from regulations.
Wah, wah.
By the way, I have seen of quite a few instances where city planner, the planners convention gets together, and all they do is rip on Houston the whole time.
Is that right?
They've got nothing better to do.
Wow.
This was what they were doing on NPR's First Amendment or 1A, their show that today they were just ripping on Houston. They just hate it. They hate the idea that a city can exist without them.
Mm. We do value our freedom here in Texas. As I write from soggy Central Texas, the cable news is showing people floating down Buffalo Bayou on their principles, proud residents of the largest city in the United States that did not grow in accordance with zoning ordinances. The feeling there was that persons who own real estate should be free to develop it as they wish. Houston, also known as the Bayou City, is a great location because of its access to international shipping in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
It is not a great location for a building, though, because of all of its impervious cover. If water could easily sink into the ground, there would be less of it ripping down Houston's rivers that just a week ago were overcrowded streets. In less free cities, the jackbooted thugs in the zoning department impose limits on the amount of impervious cover in a development. Some of the limits can be finessed by lining parking lots with bricks turned sideways so grass can be planted in the holes. If you meet the impervious cover standards, you still might get your entire plat chucked into the round file because some computer has determined that your business plan will attract automobile traffic in excess of the carrying capacity of nearby roads. Faceless bureaucracies have no respect for the inalienable right of every American to park his car on the public streets during rush hour.
Well, I don't think that people have the right to park their car in the street. I think that's, to me, that's bad planning generally in cities that are planned around that. Usually, that's the ones with zoning.
Well, there's no zoning here, so people can just park in the middle of the road. Clearly, that's the argument this really intelligent person is making.
I'd like to also point out that we are in Keene, New Hampshire here, and just before not exactly the most urban of zones. I mean, there's a downtown and everything, but there's still plenty of trees and places where water could in theory get absorbed. But we are in a valley, and back in 2005, before we moved here, there was tremendous flooding in the city of Keene. I mean, incredible. It hasn't been that bad since, but there was enough rain to make it so the water levels didn't go down quickly enough, and half the city was flooded.
The ground is impermeable. It must be that.
Well, what he's suggesting here is that
it must be because the city of Houston is a giant bowl made out of concrete, and it's just holding all the water in. It has nothing to do with aquifers or water tables.
That's what he's suggesting here,
He's a moron is what he's suggesting. He's writing clearly out loud and announcing it to everyone who reads Newsweek, I am an idiot.
No, he's been educated. He went to college for this.
Oh, clearly.
So, Johnson, look, it's not like there's not an argument for zoning,
right?
And the guy's making the argument for zoning. Now,
he's making the argument for zoning by saying that water doesn't run off asphalt because it collects there. It collects on the asphalt. There's nowhere for the water to go. All of Houston is a giant bowl to contain all the water. It's like a cup. It has nothing to do with the water table.
I don't know how they're...
or 30 inches of rain in 24 hours.
I don't know how their zoning laws pertain to the amount of drainage that they have to have on streets and things like that.
Well, if they print enough laws out, they can put a shield together of all the laws to prevent the rain.
It's a giant bubble of if they just imagine all the rain away.
All right, let me hear more.
Here you go. So I got snarky in law school class when I first heard that Houston had no zoning, wishing out loud I could build a rendering plant in the so posh River Oaks neighborhood.
The first thing he does is make the pig farm argument.
Yep.
The first thing that anybody does.
I thought they render horses.
They render anything.
Okay, just dump whatever in there.
Okay. They're trying to render in order to get fat or whatever. They're cooking it down. So the first thing they want to do is bring up the pig farm argument. And this is so easily rebutted.
Well, he says, I was quickly slapped down by the freedom fighters in the class who informed me that there are no rendering plants in River Oaks because the real estate costs too much.
Excellent.
Did I not understand that the market regulates land use much more effectively than bureaucrats could?
Bam. Right.
Well, he says River Oaks remains some of the most expensive real estate in the United States.
Why would you put your rendering plant in an expensive area when you can put it in the middle of, the industry area and get it cheaper?
It's funny how often you hear this argument from how many people you hear it. I've had to make it over and over again.
Yeah, people have called in with that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he says it's a model of what could be done with appropriate planning. Developers accomplish their ends by deed restrictions and a gentleman's agreements. Home prices were required to exceed $7,000 back in the 1920s, and deed restrictions even specified allowable architectural styles. Gentlemen of the times, of course, excluded Jews and Negroes and similar undesirables. After Houston annexed...
Let's go to racism. Racism is why it's flooded.
Racism.
Right, you got to do that. Because libertarians are always racist no matter what. You got to throw that in.
After Houston annexed River Oaks in 1927, the suburb became a neighborhood, but it remained a haven for swell folks as tightly regulated by custom as Houston was unregulated by law. Impervious cover in Houston, meanwhile, has increased and continues to increase. I look at my television and I see that the streets are flooded. The San Jacinto River and Buffalo Bayou are out of their banks. People are wading through waist-deep water, carrying a few possessions, children, and pets. This catastrophic flooding is the result of 20 to 30 inches of rain. Adding to the water in the streets now, the Army Corps of Engineers has announced several reservoirs in the area will be opening floodgates to avoid failure of the dams, and the floodgates are expected to stay open for weeks because so much water will be coming downstream.
Wow.
Additionally, the National Weather Service is warning Houston to expect another 15 to 25 inches of rain.
Right. It couldn't be the rain that's causing this.
Yeah. As I write this, Hurricane Harvey is ambling off towards Louisiana, taking with him the high winds and the danger of storm surges, but leaving rain and more rain. Mm-hmm. Critics in the cheap seats are complaining that Houston has issued no mandatory evacuation order. That would only occur to somebody who has never sat in the parking lot that Loop 610 becomes at least twice a day when people are just going to and from work. Putting the entire population on the roads at the same time, roads that are prone to flash floods, I cannot read tonight, when rains are nowhere near these historic levels would mean not just inconvenience, but fatalities. Mm-hmm. There would be at least as many rescues to be done as there are now, but they would be more dangerous rescues. Agreeing that mandatory evacuation would have driven up these casualty numbers currently...
Hold that thought. Did you hear about them leaving dogs behind?
People were leaving their dogs?
No, the rescuers were forcing people to leave their dogs behind.
Yeah, I bet that... America's not going to like that.
One person said that if they'd known they would have had to have left their dog, they wouldn't have gotten on the rescue craft or whatever.
Yeah.
More coming up here in moments. You got a little more from this arch statist, who at the very least is familiar with the other side of the argument. You got to give him credit for that. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We got time for you if you want to join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-496-3947. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-496-3947. That's 1-800-496-3947. 1-800-496-3947.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Sony released this week the Nasal HD 340s, a brand new pair of high-quality nose buds designed to let users blast different scents into their nostrils throughout the day. The Onion let consumers across the nation sound off about their excitement for the new product.
I've always got them in my nose. At work, at the gym, on the bus, wherever. These days, I can't stop smelling tennis ball.
Retailing for $49.99, the nose buds accompany the launch of Sony's new online odor store, which sells over 22,000 different smells for download and immediate inhalation. Still, not everyone is quite as enthusiastic about the new product.
These things suck. I mean, a lot of times it only works out of the right nostril. The other day I tried smelling picnic table. It smelled more like hardwood floor. And also, to be honest, I have a
really hard time breathing with these things on.
This is the Onion News Network.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain. There's enough time here for you if you want to join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We're talking about the Houston zoning situation, which is a strange thing to be discussing in the aftermath of a devastating hurricane. But there's one opinion columnist over at Newsweek who's actually trying to blame the flooding situation in Houston on the fact that there's no zoning laws to therefore prevent what he calls impermeable ground from existing all over the place.
Too much concrete everywhere.
That's what he's saying. Yeah. He's saying that concrete is, the responsible factor for the flooding, not the water table, not the fact that the rivers and everything are completely full, the dams are overflowing, and that there was 30-something inches of rain that fell.
He's also talking about the roads specifically, which have really nothing to do with people, like a zoning rule. I've lived in towns with zoning laws, and they have roads too. So the government puts in the roads. He can't really blame the hoi polloi, the dirty, unwashed, unzoned masses for the flooding when he's pointing out it's the government's fault to some extent too.
All right, let's hear more, Johnson.
Well, he says agreeing that mandatory evacuation would have driven up the casualty numbers, currently in single digits. Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo told...
That's the former Austin Police Chief, by the way.
Told MSNBC that half of the population would refuse to evacuate, but enough would do so to cause massive traffic jams that would leave everyone stuck in them at extreme danger in flash floods. Houston was built without regard for the
if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. Houston was built without regard for the carrying capacity of its roads, just as it was built without regulating the amount of impervious cover that would be shedding the water into the city's streets, storm sewers, rivers, and Buffalo Bayou. Texans do value their freedom. That's it. That's all he has to say.
That's all he's got to say. So if only there weren't those people just willy-nilly developing however they wanted, then we would not be drowning.
I mean, it's just the dumbest thing.
Well, I will give him the point that if he had control as a zoning, as if he was the zoning czar, and
which he'd love to be,
he had a bunch of minions out there. And don't forget, you got to pay this guy, $250,000 a year to be the zoning czar, then a whole bunch of government bureaucrats are getting $80,000-$90,000 a year with benefits,
right?
And this, the whole cadre of these people on down to, the people who are telling you, oh my goodness, your car's parked the wrong direction in your driveway, going to have to give you a citation. Those folks. I think that he probably could eliminate some of the flooding. I mean, there'd still be flooding because it's a huge amount of rain that's falling from the sky. Sure, he could eliminate some, but at what cost?
Yeah, okay, we've taken it down from 30 inches of water above the floor level in a building to 25 inches or 20, right?
His real problem with Houston isn't that it's thumbing its nose at zoning. It's how well Houston has done doing so
over the years
that bothers these people. Yes, Sure, there may be some instances you can point out where they could have done better in whatever circumstance, but this is a top 10 market. People want to live there, and they want to live there among other reasons because they can do what they want to do with their property.
Right, that's a big deal.
There are people leaving right now your well-zoned metro of Los Angeles in order to head over to the not-so-well-zoned metro of Houston. Explain that, bureaucrat.
Well, that's because some people do appreciate freedom, even though they understand that freedom can come along with risks. I mean, when you have freedom, you do have that risk factor, and that's why there are insurance policies. And I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, it's not like it's going to change to where Houston's going to all of a sudden mandate that all this concrete get torn up and put dirt down instead or whatever. That's not going to happen, right? So this is just him bitching.
It's a lot like that.
By the way, Newsweek are the same dopey idiots who caught themselves a lawsuit because they thought that they were being all clever when they outed Dorian Nakamoto as being behind Bitcoin. Yeah.
Not really. The real Satoshi
No, they
Nakamoto.
caught themselves a lawsuit over that because, no, he was not involved in Bitcoin at all.
And he wasn't happy about the attention that was brought to him. He's like a meek, Chinese man or something like that. So, hey, in other Houston-related news, I got word today that State Representative Joseph Stalkop of Keene, who, if you've listened to the show this year over the last several months, you know that Joseph was newsworthy a few months ago when he made the switch from the Democratic Party to the Libertarian Party. He was the second person, second of 3 state reps this year to make that switch, not from Democrat. He was the only one from the Democrat Party. 2 Republicans also made a switch to the Libertarian Party, but he was the first Democrat in the United States in 20 years to make the flip to Libertarian. And you know where it was the last time? New Hampshire. So yeah, it was really awesome when that news came out, especially because Joseph Stalkop is from Keene. And that's where we're doing this show from, where many people who hate...
This gives you hope.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Many people who hate the Keene activists and the Keene activism that has happened over the years, and I'm not talking about the regular haters, I'm talking about the ones in the libertarian movement who hate us. They never would have seen this coming. They never would have seen any electoral kind of political success from Keene, New Hampshire. But Joseph Stalkop was the second sitting state rep to flip to the Libertarian Party. And by the way, the Libertarian Party nationwide has a total of 3 state representatives that are current sitting state reps in the various different state houses, and all 3 of them are in New Hampshire. So the fact that 1 out of the 3 came from here in Keene, and the second one of the 3 came from here in Keene, I think is a major feather in Keene's cap, and it really shows that not only did we have all the wonderful history of civil disobedience here, but we also now have political success stories as well. So take that. Anyway, going on here, what he announced, Joseph Stalkop, was that he's raising funds for the Red Cross and their relief efforts down in Texas. He specifically is offering to sweeten the deal, because anybody can go and donate to the Red Cross. That's not a hard thing to do.
And the Red Cross is claiming they've kind of changed their systems for distributing money. So it's probably worth looking into, but there you go.
Stalkop writes on his fundraiser at crowdrise.com, "My name is Joseph Stalkop, and I'm a student at Keene State College, New Hampshire State Representative, and the owner of Skill of Living." That's his blog. "Currently witnessing the live stream of the devastation occurring in Texas through Hurricane Harvey, I feel personally distraught. As a libertarian, I hold strong to individuals holding strong to personal responsibility and making a difference in their community and the world as a whole. Therefore, I cannot stand back as this storm tears through the Alamo State and just watch in disbelief. Instead, I've decided to put a fundraiser together for $50,000 to the American Red Cross for Hurricane Harvey relief. Lofty goal? Yes. But the human spirit is a strong and hardy beast, and I feel in confidence we can all get together and help out. Since some people require a little extra motivation, I have put up this challenge. Since I'm a big fan of Rocky Horror and dress up for its performances every October, if this goal is reached by Halloween, I will personally get a full body wax, besides the top of my head and eyebrows, in costume, and upload the video. In other words, you can help out a good cause and contribute to your own amusement. Good deal, huh? He says.
So he's trying to encourage us to subsidize his body wax. Is that what's going on here?
No, this is a Red Cross.
Right.
No, this is not a subsidy.
This is a fundraiser.
This is a fundraiser for the Red Cross.
An excuse. All right.
Just to clarify, Mark, when you go to the fundraiser, because I did donate $25 to it today on behalf of the Shire Free Church, but when you go there, you can tell it's a Red Cross branded portion of the CrowdRise site. So this money's going straight to the Red Cross. In fact, you can even select the programs within the Red Cross that you want it to go to. You can go to hurricane relief or just sort of their general disaster fund or whatever. So it's going straight to them. It's not like it's going to Joseph first and then you have to trust him to send it on to the Red Cross.
Sure, I'm not.
So this is a legit, fundraiser. And I thought it was a cool thing, so I wrote up a piece about it over at freekeen.com. Let's go to Tom. He's in Baltimore. You're on Free Talk Live. So if you want a link to the fundraiser, just go to freekeen.com. You'll see the story right there. Tom, go ahead.
I'll make this real quick.
Yes,
by the way, the guy who lost money in Bitcoin, I did too. I think a lot of people have in various things other than Bitcoin as well. So, misery loves company. So, what I did is simply took the negative energy and flipped it around and put it into something positive, and then you don't feel so bad. By the way, Mark, your comment about Ian losing his roaches, that was funny. It was a bit of a low blow, but you had me laughing. And I think it was probably deserved. He's taken a couple low blow shots at you as well over the years.
Yeah. We get paid.
By the way, I'll leave you with this. Imagine, and this would be a good talking point for the libertarian movement. Imagine what would happen if things keep going the way they are, and we had somebody like Sarah in charge of the road. She would be the road and zoning czar. Can you just imagine the kinds of things that she would implement?
Yeah, that is a scary idea. Thanks, Tom, for leaving us on that note. Appreciate it. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night online. In the meantime, you can join us over at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. It's bitcoin.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The live edition of Off the Air Live is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,324 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,401. Antiwar.com reports